afternoon. What's up, my brother?
Good afternoon to you, TC. Good afternoon to the listeners of the Street 919 FM. Those of you on Facebook, YouTube. Welcome to another Saturday on the Weekend Review with Heavy Duty and TC.
Yep. You have to head up on Facebook right now. Make sure and head up on Facebook. It's Street 919 FM on Facebook. We are live. And of course, if you're on YouTube, it's IWER TV on YouTube. Yep. And you can chill with us in studio. So Heavy, I guess I'm advertising in the week.
Yeah, you get some free advertising in the week.
Some free advertising.
Yeah. Me too. I as well.
The nice thing about it, people know you.
Well,
when it comes to this circle.
Yeah, when it comes to talking.
Yeah. Nobody knows me. Nobody really cares about what you have to say about me. So it made no sense. It made no sense, Heavy. Am I talking foolishness there?
Nope.
It made no sense.
Nope.
You understand?
That's correct.
And I would say this again and I would leave it right here. Right? For those who, and let me try and make it short and sweet. The ground report team is there for a purpose.
Right.
They know their agenda.
Right.
The morning team here, right? With Sharon and Bruce and
the whole week here.
They know the agenda. No, but for sure the ground report, the morning team know the agenda. Right? Right. I am nor here nor there. And when first people doesn't think before they speak, right? When I'm against you here on this program, that said caller, and I would not even call his name because he cannot call back here. No time. I will cut him off. Right?
Yeah.
That said caller calling and saying, TC, you're very intelligent. That said caller is the caller that's saying, TC, yes, it's a good thing one all has some brain here. But because last week Saturday, you come to sell dreams, sing for your supper, sing. I have no problem with you singing for your supper. I have no problem with that. And we sure you singing for your supper, we sure.
Yeah.
We sure you singing for your supper, but you can't come and sing here. Because you ain't getting no supper here. You understand?
But what if you have all day to sing, whole week to sing? Why are you coming here to sing too?
Because you feel you could come here and thief a brain. The same person that you say so intelligent, you feel you could thief his brain too. Okay. So he will always be against heavy duty. If heavy duty says stupidness, he says stupidness. And it mightn't be stupidness for heavy duty, but to me, I makes my own decision.
Right.
Right? And it's stupidness for me. And if anybody else here calls and their contribution is way off, I'm going to tell you the truth. It is way off.
No, you see, I kind of glad you said that way because I want to ask you a simple question.
Go ahead.
Right? If you're supporting a political party, I ain't saying government, a political party. I ain't talking about when they're in government or when they're in opposition. Right?
Yeah, they're supporting.
If you're supporting a political party, right? How far will you take that support?
I'm going right down with my party.
Okay.
But
wait.
Right.
Will you put that party before yourself?
No.
Will you put that party before your children?
No.
Will you put that party before
the party had to be able to help myself,
before your country?
Help my country.
Okay. Then
and if the party do something wrong, heavy.
I'm not gonna go there. If the party do something wrong, will you defend? Will you defend the party no matter the wrong or right?
No. Nothing is wrong with saying it. If you do something wrong and you don't know you do something wrong.
Yes.
If you do something, if your children do something wrong, you doesn't correct your children.
Yes.
And say they do something wrong.
Right.
Huh?
But the thing is you will condemn other people if they tell them the children the right and the wrong.
Yeah, but what it is, if I could tell my own children or my own parents, Daddy, you see that way today, that was off. You didn't have to handle it.
Well, it means to say that you can differentiate wrong and right.
Yes.
Good.
So why can't I say if my political leader or somebody in the party drop the ball or they do something wrong, what's the big deal? What's wrong with that?
You can say it, but to yourself.
Why can't I say it out loud?
You can't come out on national radio and say it because they will chastise you because they believe
that
their party can do no wrong.
And that is why I hold no political affiliation, because I find that is wrong. If somebody do something wrong, if me and his friend Heavy, how much time
you just get right through.
Yes.
You just get right through.
How much times you come to me and you say, you see where you do that?
You're wrong. I don't like that.
And how much times I come to you with the same?
And same thing, yeah. So
we going and work together and not even speaking because we angry to another because we have difference in opinion on something. But the thing is, at the end of it all, we know that, okay.
You see, I respect a man more, right? When he can say, well, boy, I'm wrong. And then I drop the ball. You understand? And they say, oh, sorry, and forgive and move on.
Heavy, I hope nobody on work are listening. But let me give you a fast something that happened on work recently.
But just don't call the way working.
Yeah, I'm not calling work. I'm not calling the place of work. Because that's not important. But I have a friend on work, a very close friend, female friend. And every time I bring lunch, she would be like, we bring, she gone down in my bag, she eating, she think, right? At times I would even tell her, I'll bring some food for you tomorrow, I'll cook in XYZ,
right.
I'll pack a bowl and carry for her. Right? And I started doing a little food on the side just for on work. Just for the people on work. I'm not selling food. Just for the people on work, right? And they would tell me, well, all right, we feeling to eat so tomorrow, and I would cook it. And she would tell me outright that she's not participating in that because she used to get free food. Right?
She used to get free food.
She's straightforward about it. I not going and put no money, no food on them because I used to get free food. Well, you can pack a bowl and bring some food for me, right? And everybody on work is angry with her.
Wow.
And they find I still talking to her real good.
You find the schedule luxury?
The financial luxury because she
out of timing.
She out of timing.
Yeah.
But I told them, without her presence being there, I said, all I don't ignore that. Honesty is the best policy. She came straight. And she didn't even say it with remorse.
Right.
Right?
I used to get free food and not pay for no food.
Yeah, she meant it.
Yeah.
She meant what she said. And I could deal with that. What I cannot deal with is a hypocrite.
Correct is right.
Right?
Correct is right.
And I will deal with her very nicely. All right? From there on, I hold no grudge against her. And she does go down real good still. But I know for a fact she's not participated. And she said why? Because she used to get it free.
Right.
I can't vex with her for that.
Yeah, because she's a get it free.
She used to get it free.
Yes.
And that's the truth.
Good.
Right? Why should I
Although she wrong.
Yeah, although she's
wrong.
But in her wrong, she's honest.
Yeah, she's honest.
She's honest, and that's why I stand next to.
Right.
You understand?
That being said, TC, right? Unlike you and I, there are a lot of respectable people in Trinidad and Tobago, well educated, even talk show hosts, that comes here and not only defend wrong of the political party, but also try to convince the listen audience that the wrong is right. Right?
You can't do that. So,
why mislead the people? No, first thing I don't understand, if something is wrong, and the first thing I don't understand, like, are they not human beings? Are they not subject to to make the same mistakes like all of us?
Yeah. They can't make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with them making mistakes.
Are they picture perfect?
No.
So why come, and if they do wrong, either you not talk about it, and if somebody a caller call to bring it up, you cut off the caller, or you sway from it, you talk about something totally different, or right, you come and you try to defend it. by switching the focus on something else or somebody else around that.
Yeah, or some ex-government that do something before. When X will do so and so,
we didn't say nothing. Yeah, all that and throwing the blame all over the place.
At the end of the day, when X did so and so, who was supposed to speak out about it, spoke out about it.
Correct,
because
right.
it has both sides to all the crap.
No. I decided as a talk show host, and I want everybody to know this, I am decided to come here and be real. I'm not going to be irresponsible, but don't expect me to come here and say great as nobody. No political side. Although I know most of my friends and family support a particular party,
right.
I don't.
Yeah, and
right?
you made that very
I
clear.
made that very clear.
You made that very clear, family, because I asked you that.
Yeah.
The first Saturday was here.
Yeah.
You said it.
I was criticized, chastised, and persecuted. I was called all kind of names. I am not jumping on no wagon, right? For no quick biscuit, no crumbs. Matter of fact, I can't jump on a bad wagon to side with nobody because for no kind of monetary game, because here what's happening after that. My children had to live here.
Yeah.
And I want a better children to be go for them.
Yeah.
You understand? So, if you don't like what I'm saying here, you could go out and switch on whatever radio station you want to listen to.
The hell was it?
The hell with you.
Yeah, I tell you, no, that is my new slogan from today. Go to hell.
Good. So the people who can differentiate right from wrong, don't beat your children when they do wrong.
Exactly.
Side with them.
Exactly.
You never want them to big so the child want them to big so and bring your neighbor glass. Defend your child.
The glass wasn't supposed to be there. They should have moved
the window.
They should have put that window 4 inches to the left.
Yeah. So the sun would not hit it.
Sun would not hit the.
That's right. That's how they talk.
Yeah.
You understand? Come on. Be real, people. Be real. Now, TC, last week.
Half 180,000 is 140,000. I just say, nah.
No, that.
I just say. If you want to go there, I go in there.
Half of 180,000, 140,000.
Yes, half of 180,000. And that could just be, and let me show you how small-minded people is. You know, people ride under, and that could be an honest mistake. That's an honest error.
Yeah, that's an honest mistake.
But it is an honest error.
Yeah, that's an honest mistake.
And it have the fools out there that running on that. That's an honest mistake.
Yeah, that's an honest mistake.
We just be speaking.
And we don't make mistakes while she speaks. Right.
So who is the prime minister?
But this is what I'm saying, but that means it's not perfect.
So that means he can't come. That means he can't come.
No, it doesn't mean that he can't come.
No. For foolish people.
Well,
again, that's what I'm telling you.
Again,
this is what I'm telling you, Heavy. Because you're so narrow-minded when it comes to politics. You're so narrow-minded when it comes to party.
And I don't like that. I would even ride on that because that is a mustard seed.
But that mustard seed, Heavy.
Yeah, that mustard seed.
I listen programs this week here.
Talk about that
whole week. Narrow-minded because we just speak. And honestly, we just make our own mistakes.
I have two issues this week with regards to what's happening. I had a very, very, very disturbing issue with regards to the people going to get the job. Right? The crowd. Right?
Restaurant closed.
Yeah. Everything closed.
Everything closed.
That's because
you don't want the mass gathering. But you're going by the police officers going by the health center and still trying to spread people quite wrong the corner. You have to send some of them home, Dread.
First thing first, let me go to the initial problem itself.
The initial problem was every Saturday.
No, the minister
news conference.
Right.
Because that every Saturday news conference heavy causing a problem. Here why? Because Saturday go on, you come and you say, okay, you could just run out Monday and get vaccinated.
Yeah, this is where the job the ball.
That's where the job the ball, but
no, mind you. Right? In that press conference, it was said that we're going to do walk-in jabs to the clinics. Right? The Minister of Health, after the whole fiasco with all the thousands, hundreds of people by the health center lineup, make of a report stating that the wrong people went to get the vaccine. He said between the ages of 60 and over, and those with non-communicable. Oh God.
Underlining.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I was to go back to find out if I did hear that, and I didn't. I go back in the papers, the Sunday papers. I go on the YouTube, on the TV shows and the TV station, and then we don't have the press cover, the live and thing. Yeah. And I'm looking to see where did he said people over the age of 60 and the people with non-commutable between under 60 to the I should have been the article to read it. Sorry about that if I misquote here. Right, I apologize in front. But I didn't hear nothing like that, because what he's saying after that, he didn't tell all these people come for vaccine.
So who you told?
So these people, mad people, use 45, use 50, use just go outside and you don't get the information. I even looked to see on the Ministry of Health website prior to that if it was there, stating that only these people should come for vaccine on this day.
Yeah, on these days.
Yeah. All that happened after the fact.
And why are we just hearing that is only 100, it's only 50, it's 40, it's 20, it's 90, it's 70? Why are they not making things clear on the amount? Right? And leaving it onto the healthcare workers that they have to go outside, or the security in the place have to go outside and say, well, okay, this is the amount that is here today, and this is the amount that you could get. I mean, if I know there's only 50 vaccine or 100 vaccine,
right,
and I reach to the
health center,
and I watch the line, and I average, there's about 120 people there,
right,
and I'm 121,
right,
I would leave, because I know to myself
I wouldn't get no vaccine.
I will not get a vaccine. Right? I know to myself that it was put out there that there is only 100 vaccine. Right? And it is impossible for me to be 121 and get the
job here.
You understand?
Right.
So I would leave.
That's right.
You understand? But you see, the information is not clear,
and this is where they drop the ball. The information is not going out there to the public.
It is not clear.
Clearly, and they're doing things vike. And I don't want nobody come here to defend that.
The second they came and they say alphabetical order, it still didn't work.
It still didn't work. Right? And then they come and say 50.
Right?
So they give the people numbers the day before.
Remember, that is where the
bacana side.
They give people numbers. Let's say you had 200 people on Monday.
Right.
You give the 100 that you had the job.
Right.
And you give from 101 to 200.
To come tomorrow. And then tomorrow come.
New set of people came before that and started to line up.
Right.
So even though you had a number in your hand, when you join the line, you still 50 something down the line, but you is 103.
Yes.
Understand what I just said?
Understand what I'm saying?
Your number is 103.
So your number was supposed to grant you an appointment in front of all these people. You still have to line up.
50 something down the line, because there's people that came out their house thinking that tomorrow the number system will take place again.
Yes.
Thinking that the number system
correct is right
will start from 0 in the morning, and if I get there early, I will get number 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, not knowing they had already sent home some people with numbers in hand.
But have people went the 2, 3, 4 days in the weekend still didn't get it, and they get hand numbers in the hand. They went by alphabetical order. They need to make it one thing and make it clear.
And I like to play devil's advocate too. Trinidadians must have some kind of common sense. Common sense. Yes.
They have that.
If you go to you have it right now. You don't. We believe that you don't have COVID. Right. Because you show no symptoms and everything. Right. So you decide you're gonna get the vaccine. You know, crowd is gonna attract the vaccine. Right. So you reach there. You didn't get the vaccine in Bartar because you went to Bartar.
Right.
Would you go to Mount Hope?
Only if I hear they're giving the vaccine in Mount Hope.
Yeah, they're giving the vaccine in Mount Hope, but if you're in Bartar and see that
crowd, and they go to Mount Hope.
When you go Mount Hope, you feel you're going to Mount Hope any less?
Well, they wouldn't know on television.
And when you reach Mount Hope, would you stand there knowing that the cause of this
is the crowding and not social distancing and stuff. And this is the problem that I want to speak about today. And people, if you want to call us, you can get them in numbers.
Then open back all the restaurants and all them things.
Yes.
People congregating all over the place.
And you could even open back the restaurants, pass and pick up and buy order, pick up and go. You don't have to line up, you don't have to do it. Just come and pay and go. You understand where I'm coming from?
They're going to say it's a UNC today because I'm talking.
No, because this is...
No,
see, what we're talking here is common sense, you know. See, listen to me carefully. If they drop the ball...
They drop the ball.
That's all they say. Okay, yeah, they really drop the ball.
Yeah, they drop the ball.
They make a mistake. They could have do it better than that.
I think the press conference today is to try to iron out that.
Right.
Which will be a good move because we don't want people go. The curfew is to keep people home. Not
right.
So.
Yes.
The holiday, we had 2 holidays.
And you have to tell them 10 in the morning.
From 10 in the morning.
Till next morning.
Till next morning was to keep people home.
Right.
The clothes, sports,
everything.
Beach,
everything.
Restaurants
to
keep people home.
Right. But the vaccine bringing them out. To get the job bringing them out.
Yeah,
in hundreds.
In hundreds. And it's all over the country.
Over the country.
It's not on the East-West corridor.
No.
It's not in the Indian stronghold. It's all over the country. So you can't call and talk that stupidness. It's all over.
And this is why I like this show. We're more real than everybody else. And let me tell you something, people. Right? We coming up. I have a solution, but we'll tell you the solution after the cause.
I would like to hear a solution to that.
Yeah. I have an easy solution with that.
Hopefully you do it before 2 o'clock so that maybe they could scrap it down on a piece of paper quick.
The numbers, people keep telling me heavy, you must call the numbers 3420081. That's 3420081.
771 1791. 771 1791.
Right, and the next number is that 466 working?
Yeah, 466.
466-5391. That's 466-5391. And I want to say good afternoon to my people up there in Belandra, locked on and listening. The whole team, which is
phone line going crazy.
Going crazy. Sibri, Ahmed, Raphael, I just can't remember the whole team. Just locked on and listening.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Blessed afternoon.
Blessed afternoon.
Is it now tell me, I just thinking out the box per se.
Right.
My big question is this. Isn't these vaccines supposed to be on ice per se or refrigerated?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be on.
If I recall, they're supposed to be refrigerated.
No,
is it a possibility that
I think it's only 2 types.
No current or what?
No, I think it's only 2 types of vaccine. I'm not sure, but I think it's only 2 types supposed to be at a certain temperature, refrigerated.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So how they distributing it then? You understand?
Well, even though I'm saying, even though they have 1,000 at the facility, they would say, listen, we cannot do this just willy-nilly. Let's cut it down to 100 or whatever. You understand?
The problem was in the amount of vaccines, you know. The problem was staff.
Yeah.
They had short staff in the health centers because of the.
That's ridiculous on the Ministry of Health part. Or you could throw out a red carpet to give people vaccine and then
that was kind of
short staff.
Yeah, I think the problem was staff.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
All right,
that's ridiculous.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, there's take out senior.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, my brother. Yeah, take out.
All right.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, man. Cool. The numbers are there. You can call us right now. I'm going to repeat the numbers to you one more time. The numbers are 342-0081, 342-0081, 771-1791, or 466-5391. Let's head to the lines again. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Tabakit here.
Hey, yeah, Mr. Tabakit, what's up?
Good. Right. Let me say this. More quiet this afternoon. It have some evenings, you're more quiet than the other. Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me say this. Heavy and TC, pleasant afternoon again.
Yeah, man.
My solution to solve this mass vaccination drive is a simple one. We have been using the EBC model all our life.
Yeah.
And what that have been doing is getting everybody to go out there and vote in their community. So for instance, let's say I'm living in Tabaki. You have the polling station 3255. In that polling station, the elders, people could walk to that polling station. Right now, all the schools is closed. And if we have a model have been working so successful, by 6 in the evening, they close the poll, and by sometime 12 in the night, we can give the winner. I am saying, to me, that's the perfect catalyst to solve our problem.
I don't think
you
that
use
would
the army personnel together with the Ministry of Health, and that's your remedy there, because what they should do is consult with the EBC. They are accustomed sending the ballot to the mail, in an alphabetical order. All the EBC list is there from A to Z. Nothing have changed. So I am saying there is a model via the election and boundary through the EBC, and you have all the schools, and anyhow you take it. School is closed for the election. They're accustomed using the schools, and I'm saying bingo, that's the solution to solve your problem. And I'll tell you why. That also takes care of the elderly, because what you will be doing length and breadth throughout Trinidad and Tobago, you have 41 constituencies, and sometime in every constituency you may have, at least give and take by and large how big the constituency is, you may have sometime about 10 to 5 polling stations, and everybody goes there. And to me, this is Tabaki solution, my opinion. I'm giving this here. I think this is the problem to solve it, and to solve the senior citizen being out there.
Okay.
That's Tabaki's solution.
Yeah.
All right, Tabaki, thanks for the solution.
Heavy, I don't think that would work.
You feel so?
No, it wouldn't work. Here, why?
It's a kind of...
No, it's not just the... All right, it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But then they can't just take up people to give the vaccine. You have to be qualified. You have to have
qualified
staff.
Staff to get the vaccine.
For election, you could just
normal people to just go train them quick
to do the ballot thing.
To hold the paper, to write off the name and thing.
Right, but for staffing for that.
For the vaccine.
For the vaccine, even though you take, if it have 30 doctors in the army and Coast Guard put together, even though you take them and you try to use them, even though you take
Red Cross and
it wouldn't.
It can't happen in one day.
It cannot happen.
It can't happen.
Yeah, because at the end of the day,
it's the whole of
Trinidad. And even though when you go to a polling station, remember it's plenty different rooms, right? Right.
No, I think that was idea. He had the idea from for people to come.
Yeah, but
the problem then again will lie in staff.
And staffing.
You understand?
And you cannot just take a normal person.
There won't be no problem with the police and soldiers to guide the people and stuff, but the people who given the vaccine, you have to be qualified.
We're still short staff of them.
Yeah.
So even though that idea is a good idea,
because if they're short staff in the medical facilities, they're going to be short staff to go to schools and all these polling stations.
And then what makes it worse is we already took some people out of the healthcare system
to put them in the parallel healthcare system.
And then to break down that again from the parallel healthcare system, where they done worn out, and try to get them to go into
schools and
all
these communities and
thing. It's going to be very difficult. You can't. It's going to be difficult.
But I like the idea. Good Tabaki.
Yeah, Tabaki have a good idea.
But we need staff.
Yeah, the staffing going to be kind of difficult.
Yes,
staffing is going to be difficult. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, hello.
Yes,
good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to the program, but the two are talking at the same time and understanding not now. Only hearing noise.
Oh, you serious? You only hear noise? Huh? Oh, that what you call to say serious, but you call to say that you waste your phone. Hi, good afternoon. He trying to listen to the program. He trying to listen to the program. That level of illiteracy.
Wow.
Level of illiteracy. Go ahead, caller.
Thanks for the time. Gentlemen, young fellows there.
Yeah, man.
There's a breath of fresh air hearing young people. When I hear young people objective and thinking about country before party, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
It comes across a breath of fresh air. Thanks for being so. I just want to highlight one thing.
Go ahead.
That is concerning the COVID and the spread of COVID. Observation that I have, and I think when I tell anybody, it's no big thing, but to me it's a very big thing. I travel every day. Maxi taxis have their glass up. The majority, 90% or more than 90%, I would say more than 90% have their glass
up and running AC.
I don't know if there is a medium of transmission, because I think if you're inside a vehicle and somebody has it or want to, if a maxi taxi wouldn't know who has it and who have it,
Right.
Driver. So they will be in and out of the maxi, and if that maxi has a glass up and air condition on, the possibility of transfer is very much increased. 100%. I don't know. I'm talking about that, and people ain't taking me on. I don't know what you all think or what the public.
No,
you have a valid point.
That is very real what you're saying.
I travel a lot.
Do we have because it's the same thing that was said in an aircraft. I think they did some research on it, and whether or not if someone that has COVID is in transport and the vehicle or wherever they are in is closed and have AC, which is circulating air, right? And seeing that they had true down that when they say COVID was not airborne virus.
Yeah.
Now we hear it's an airborne virus. So then this now could be relevant what you're saying here.
Yeah, and then the aircraft doesn't come into play at all, you know why?
Right.
The people who will be going on aircraft,
have to be tested.
They will, will have a sticker.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't come into play. But the public jumping in a maxi and I jump in a maxi and a man coughing in the maxi.
Wow.
But when I put him up there, they watch him hard and he stopped. But at the same time, I could not know when I jump in if there's 3 people in a maxi have it,
But I understand why drivers leave the glass up here, because a lot of the public now only like to travel in AC.
Yeah.
And this is another way of the danger. Yeah. So we need more concept. We need people that can make them aware.
What I can advise you.
Even taxis,
Any taxis, so yes.
What I can advise you, sir, is make sure and have your mask, and when you're entering and when you're exiting, if you have to hold it down, have your little sanitizer and thing, you have to do the little extra protection for yourself,
Yeah.
Don't take down your mask at all in the mask.
The mask can't save you.
No, the mask can't save you 100%. But
because of the side of the mask in a mask taxi, sit down a taxi. When the air circulating, mask can't save you 1 minute,
Okay.
If one particle has to go into your nose or somewhere.
Yeah, for real.
And the thing about it is, I don't travel in maxi with glass down, with glass up at all. I wait. I let
the glass down.
pass.
Okay.
Before I take one the other,
All right.
One that a little old man with glass down, I jump in, yes.
All right, caller.
Thanks.
Thank you for your observation. Thank you for your observation.
No, but he said it's real.
Yeah.
I see Tobago was calling. Tobago, you could call us, Tobago. Call us now, man. I would love to hear from my good friend out there in Tobago.
Yeah, no longer hear from Mr. Tobago. I said she stopped the time. She don't call her again.
No. You mad? You can't stop Tobago from calling. You crazy or what?
I told her that she don't call every show.
My girl Tobago? You mad? She calling every show. She calling TC side of the show.
All right, good.
You understand? But what he said there is really,
yeah.
Is that strong
you
piece
see,
of...
my solution, though...
We have some calls.
All right, take the call. I will talk
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, TC and Heavy.
Yeah, good afternoon, my brother.
All right, buddy. I now tune in, so tell me, give me a little synopsis as what you're all dealing with now, please.
No, we were talking about the fiasco that happened this week with the amount of people gathered outside health centers to get the jab, and we were speaking about the health minister who's responsible for the healthcare system dropped the ball. One. They're not giving people the proper information, and now it's kind of like confusing because people don't know if they're using the number system that they give them on the first day or the alphabetical system, which is from A to whatever. And it's just like it's not
all over the place.
It's not being the information is not being out to the public clearly.
Clearly, yeah.
Right? And we need to have, and we're also talking about this gathering outside health centers. If we stop the gatherings of going to restaurants and in the public, we can't gather no way, and we having lockdowns
and curfew. All the amount of curfew you're having.
Yeah.
What I
right?
would suggest that they should do, right, in Albany, what I suggest they should do, the amount of curfew that they have in and all, right, they should actually cut off that curfew, right, and open on a weekend, right, on a weekends as well, right, for specific persons, like from 8 in the morning, or at least from, let me say, from 8 until 2, right? So you would have some of them being vaccinated at that date, Saturday and Sunday, right? However, I agree with you all 100% that they dropped the ball. And quite frankly, there was an 87-year-old that I took to get vaccinated, right? And when I saw the line, and that person is my granduncle, right? When I saw the line that he had to go through and they were actually turning him away, right? I was pissed. In other words, let me tell you something. Gone are the days, I think that they dropped the ball because they're not taking the time to think things through. Right?
Yep.
They're just rushing it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they had enough time. Full time to say, okay, we have vaccines coming in on such and such. Let's put out a plan where we can vaccinate such and such days. The alphabetical system is not working. You could see it, right? So what they need to do is clearly go back to an appointment system, right? And then you start to eliminate people from there. Like on a weekend, you have a walk-in day, right? But a specified time, right? And then during the weekdays, you have the appointment system, but a certain amount of appointments you're taking, right? And then you might, for what you know, you might ease off the stress of people. And furthermore, it wouldn't surprise me that we get a spike because of the amount of
people gathered for the job.
It will not have a spike.
They're not.
It will not have a spike. Let me tell you why it will not have a spike, and I'm not cutting it across. Right?
No problem, buddy.
I just deal with real, you know. And that's why people don't like me, you know.
I know that.
Right?
I know that. Nah,
I just deal with real. No, listen. Here why it will not have a spike. Here why it will not have a spike. Because COVID was here.
Don't like you. Because watch me. I like you on heavy, no matter what. So
right.
People wouldn't like you.
It didn't have a spike when parts of Tobago was having an election.
Yeah.
True.
Right? Let me be real.
Yeah.
It didn't have a spike after that, and people jamming down the place. Right? It didn't have no spike after that. It didn't have no spike, right? After certain things go on. But But it has spike after, as they say, a few people jackass the scene. The numbers go on.
Yeah.
It is conveniently having spikes.
I like how you open your eyes now.
I not opening my eye in a heavy.
Because when I was telling you, I had a whole argument with me.
And next thing I want to touch on too, buddy.
Yeah, quickly.
Very quickly. I think that we need to know by various hospitals how many persons died. Don't just categorically put it as 20 persons died and we don't know from which area or which hospital.
I more want to know how much people die after taking the vaccine.
Wow.
Well, me too. All of that too. Because let me tell you something. I lost a 20-year-old friend this week. Just
that is
after
more
taking the
important
vaccine.
to me.
Caller, we have plenty callers on the line. You want to call us back? Because we have people waiting on the line, right? And we are on for a good for a few minutes.
Yeah.
You see, you wasn't the same person. When I was telling you, when you talking about people only J in the scene, people joining the scene. Oh, them saying outside, all the people still line up and thing. So nobody in J in the scene when they line up for the vaccine.
But that is.
How come nobody talking about the J in the scene? Why I should listen to a whole show on that?
That is full jack in the scene, but you know that. Hello.
Heavy.
Yes, brother.
Afternoon to you, Heavy. And good afternoon to you, Mr. TC.
Yeah, man.
Hey, hey, Kunji?
A show. Yeah.
Well, Kunji, welcome to a good show, boy.
I agree.
Yes, man.
I agree. I'll give it 10 out of 10. it's amazing to see how we the citizens think. It's amazing. We get all these overcrowded places by bad management. And if you have a private business and you put a team to lead your accounts, and every month, every time to account, money missing, and you're keeping that accounts, don't blame the boss man. Blame the people, the accounts. Because we have a pharmacist as the Minister of Health playing politics. I know to a fact that it have doctors in this country that can handle that this pandemic and put the right hole in the right hole, not square peg in wrong hole, and things will happen. When we have the Ministry of Health have senior citizens coming out in the street for 3-4 days, because even yesterday I see Marabella in the morning, people line up in the market, people line up right by the health center, and the health center and the market's close by, and it's more senior citizens sitting on that chair, 100 and something of them sitting on that chair. Is that fair to the senior citizen? Yeah, it have the stadium right next to the health center, where it have it cover right or wrong. It have community centers in the community. Why the senior citizens them have to pay a PH car or a taxi car at $50 or $80 to carry them down by the health center, and it have community centers with the people them they don't go into pressure already, you know.
Couldn't you have less than a minute to wrap up, eh? You have less than a minute. We're going for a break. The outbreak coming in. Right. Go ahead.
The milk that they have, and they have to be traveling all about the Trinidad and Tobago for that vaccination. You think that is fair? That is when you have bad management. And because we afraid to say bad management, because we party go vex with we. That is a sick way of thinking. Nobody doesn't do that to the future generation. I'll listen to all your program.
All right, Kunji, thank you very much.
Heavy.
But we're going for a break, people.
You know, I heard somebody say something. I want Tobago to call me back right after the break.
Yeah, because she's trying to call.
Yeah, she's trying to call. So call us back right after. We'll go the videos your way. You could head up to YouTube and Facebook, taking the videos, right? And we'll be back. I heard somebody say something heavy. At a wrong election time, you have 1 million cars to drop people free, old people. But a thing like
that
this
vaccine to save their life. Yeah. Wow.
We'll be back.
From the age of 10, hey, had my first girlfriend. I didn't have no paper when she wanted ice cream from right round the bend. Fast forward days and then tell me now, how much money you spend? It's for Susu and where you get. What? She marking every cent. Yo, you see I trust too much girl in life. You see I
send me a message. My bill will
make too much of a choice. You see I try to do what is right. Yo, never me again. We tell them I heart it first. All them y'all is the worst. I heart it first. Can't take it in reverse. I heart it first. All them y'all is the worst. I heart it first. All of them are taking no hold this year. Give me your hold. Give me your hold like jump up. Jump up. Sit down. I have a question.
The kiddos died.
You ever get horn? No focus.
What's that? The kiddos died as well.
I get real horn. All when a car blow me by traffic like that's different. First I get horn. You're feeling 2020 when you can take the next one, boy? Never be again. I jam in first fight. I horn in first. Can't take it in reverse. I
This is the pipeline here. After kiddos.
I horn in first. Horn. All them y'all is the worst. I horn in. Blow the brass. 1, 2. I horn in like. Jump up. Jump. man. Come in now. Honey. Second way gone.
He ducking. We all get it, you know.
All right, let me get this one.
Give me the play.
You get one too.
Fed up.
Like how you're so slim.
You understand? Take down. When I born, I fat like you know. I had the size.
I not fat, I thick.
Hello. Hello.
Give me the second verse.
No, at the age I went. Hear me? More money to spend. I juggling both of them. Hear what? The friend and the best friend.
And they want me to spend.
The what?
Pay the bills and rent. The two susu hand way again. She still say she take cash and check. You see hey, trust too much girl in life. You see make too much of a choice. You see try to do what is right. There we go. Never be again. After meet them girls first right. I hard in first. All them girl in the words I hard in first. Can't take it in reverse. I hard in first.
I want them to turn it to Roy Kim. I want everybody to give us some horn. Give us some horn.
No, give me the horn right now. I hard in I. Jump up.
Second, I must say thank you for giving me the platform every year. I'm grateful. You're grateful? I'm grateful.
All the love metal station.
One.
All the love TikTok.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Greetings and blessing in the name of our wonderful Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm Valentine Garcia.
And I'm Nikki Garcia. And we would like to invite you to listen to the Final Hour broadcast every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 in the morning on The Street 919 FM radio.
Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444.
Please be sure to tune in and prepare to be blessed.
As my life, I lay it on the altar. As my life.
More to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you. So real, get that perfect smile. Beauty's in every aisle to take care of your body. We have all you need to stay healthy. Yeah, Pennywise. More to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you.
Pennywise gives you more to love.
Did you know introducing different Gerber puree flavors into your baby's diet can expand their palate and allow them to accept more flavors and texture at an early age? With Gerber, you can explore and be adventurous by introducing more variety to your little one's diet with our new Gerber puree portfolio in a convenient squeezable pouch format in fun flavors like apple, pear, and mango. Gerber purees are 100% natural fruit purees and do not contain preservatives. Gerber, from 6 months onward.
Hey guys, it's Aisha Wells here. Listen up. If you're considering selling or renting your house in Trinidad and Tobago, then call Keelan George with O'Neill's Real Estate Group. He's a good friend of mine and he's been in the business for over 6 years. First, selling real estate in Atlanta, Georgia, and now right here in Trinidad and Tobago. He has a strategic online marketing presence that actually attracts thousands of home buyers and renters. Plus, with his home selling advice and techniques, he's getting homes sold really fast. Keelan will actually guarantee you sell your home or, get this, you can cancel the listing agreement and pay nothing at any time. That's right, you heard me, nothing at any time. Selling your home doesn't have to be stressful, people. Check out www.o'neillrealestatetT.com. O'Neill is spelled O-N-E-I-L, or just call Keelan direct at 363-4030. That's 363-4030.
Turn your lights down low and listen to the Master's radio.
The Church of the Firstborn Assembly Miracle Center of number 399 Eastern Main Road, Waiko in San Luis Grande is pleased to present Pastors Morris and Agnes Johnson and guests on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Sundays, Ministry of Worship Children's Hour and the Word from 1 to 6 p.m. Tuesdays, see Jesus in every book of the Bible from Genesis to Revelation from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Wednesdays, we deal with current affairs from a biblical perspective from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell everyone. For further information, visit with us at www.churchofthefirstbornassembly.org. Facebook, email us at church668hope@gmail.com or call us at 753-1113 or 236-7271. Your free will gifts and offerings will be greatly appreciated. Account number 795222 at the First Citizens Bank.
At Health and Wealth Lifestyle, we offer a wide range of services: blood analysis, iridology, acupuncture, foot detox, foot massages, gua sha, hot stone therapy, fire therapy, legs and feet massage therapy, mineral scrubs, acrotherapy, cupping.
We also have a wide variety of supplements: silver, zinc and magnesium, body light, and lots more.
We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle operate our business in a clean, safe, and comfortable environment. We frequently sanitize our compound and abide by all the COVID guidelines that are currently in place.
So come on down to Health and Wealth Lifestyle, where we treat you like family. Book your appointment today. Call us at 1-868-275-8359
or 1-868-288-1108.
And remember, your health is your wealth, and prevention is always better than medication.
Kikaro, I am Alatumishe Ifabamishe Aganki, better known as MCDU, and every Monday between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I host a show called Orisha, The Way of Life, right here on the Shit 919 FM, where I have guests passing through from the Orisha Ifa Baptist Diaspora to educate, edify, and inform you, the listening public, about Orisha Ifa practices. So remember to tune in every Monday between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for Orisha, The Way of Life.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
So we are back on the inside. It's just about 5 minutes after the hour of 1 o'clock, and we continue to take your calls because at 2 o'clock in Trinidad and Tobago, for yet another weekend, we have the very important press conferences by our Honorable Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley. Yep, every Saturday at 2 o'clock until further notice.
Sarcasm?
No. Yeah, I'll be real that way. But so am I wrong?
I find you saying it's sarcasm. Okay, people, we're back.
Let's go to the phone lines. Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
TC?
Yeah, man, what's up?
Yeah, man, listen, I find your show started to get grimy, boy.
My show started to get grimy?
I was telling you, since last month, all before when you was alone, the show was real early. I listen to music, and your show started to get real grimy now, boy.
It's started to get, well, you see, we are not able to play the little 2 hours of music after because of the
press conference.
The press conference, but as soon as...
Before one thing,
right.
When they had this political this and that and the other,
right.
The shoes are get different now, boy.
It's how well tell me how different it going on. Come on.
I speak of this morning. Remember what?
Yeah.
I am going to call in there. I didn't want to get to that. I listen to the conversation between all the grimy there this morning, but
yeah, because certain things.
I listen. Your partner makes some statement. They were saying, but remember all the public figure. Don't want people in mind.
Are we saying something wrong? Correct us if we're saying something wrong, now, caller.
Yes, but none. And I tell that one, don't call it. But God, it's both sides make the error.
No. No, because let me tell you why I said. I don't want to.
I like how you tell me. I like how you ask me. If you make a mistake, tell her. I love that. Let me debate.
Right.
Talk to me.
And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I am not taking any calls from Barataria.
I don't know what to do.
No, just now. Let me tell you why. And I'm going to put it in a nutshell for those who don't know. Last week we were speaking about CPEP and the cut in their salary.
Yeah,
and we were just explaining to why would not cut bigger salaries or just cut off the extras of some of these, the entertainment allowance and traveling allowance and the perks and thing, right? And Barataria called and he said I don't want to misquote him, but he was pertaining to let the poor man continue to lose. Right? And because the rich man cannot tell his children that they cannot eat ham, lamb, and jam anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
And I cut him off because I am a realist brethren. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't tell me the poor people, you can tell them the children can't eat a bread self, but the rich man cannot tell his children, right? They can't get the T-bone steak anymore, right?
Yeah.
And because I did that, right? Mr. Barataria decided to call various programs this week and calling me dunce and all kind of thing. Right? When that's the same Mr. Barataria that was telling me when I'm against heavy duty, who made himself very clear that he's anti-PNM, he's not friends with the PNM. He don't like them. Understand what I'm saying? No? And if I disagree with heavy, I'm very intelligent. He's my friend.
And if I agree
with heavy, he chastised my name. He chastised my name and say I dance all over the place. Well, if that's the case, I do not want to hear Mr. Barataria.
No, but you see, Mama last week call him, go on here and call him. But you that stupid, you are there. Mama last week call him, only make them say that I don't call about it.
Yeah.
I don't call. No, hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Mama last week you made them, only made them. I
didn't call him stupid though. I don't call people stupid, so I didn't call him stupid. Here what I say. I remember what I said. I said, if that is your statement, go to hell.
Yeah,
so how with that? And Heavy was repeating that, but nobody lost their self because we do not call callers.
I didn't call him stupid. I called his statement that he made stupid.
Right. We do not call.
Yeah. I live in love.
I am living in love, but I'm living away from Barataria because we have to be honest with ourselves, caller. And if we cannot be honest with ourselves, then we cannot be honest to nobody. Barataria has his agenda. I have no problem with him having his agenda. But if your child do something wrong, big man, you could correct your child and tell him he do something wrong. There's only few parents out here that see the children doing something wrong and say, that's right. And if you could do that for your children and they could do it for your parents, why not do it for a government that you believe in, or a political party that you believe in, or a church that you believe in, or a religion that you believe in? Why you can't correct the pastor if you find the pastor say something wrong?
It's true. That's a fact.
That is a fact.
But you know about man strong next year who campaign, he campaigning for the UNC.
The man sit down next to me.
You have excuse me, sir.
This ruling government could do good enough for he can nothing at all. But he can't go very
Caller. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen me But a UNC car, a UNC jersey or anything?
No. You never see me that here. I'm kind of
Well, okay, so why would you make that statement? Where's your evidence?
Hello.
We have to do is ask you why I don't like the PNM. And I would answer you honestly.
Go
ahead, caller. Go ahead. Don't let heavy sidetrack you. Go ahead.
Hey, we say this morning.
Yeah.
When Kunji call, Kunji come, who is that? Kunji? Yeah, man. Come on to
a good show. A good program.
Yeah. I know why Aisha, I know why Aisha does not run a show like this. Why you had to make that shit not call Aisha name? Why?
Me and Aisha is personal friend, you know. You know that? Me and Aisha is personal friend. Aisha will tell you don't get between me and him, you know.
No, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. Why you saying? Why you have to make that statement? So that will come to my knowledge. Mama, I tell you, just listen.
Because Kunji squads Aisha show every evening and get cussed. Holy
Yeah, man. Bless. I like that. He take away the whole vibes a little bit and shake up the thing. I like that. You understand? I have no problem with that.
But tell the UNC, yes.
Yeah, but you must be under low UNC. We don't know heavy. We don't know. Hello, good day.
Yeah, I'm going to give heavy to you. Good morning to you, heavy and TC.
Yeah, look at partner. And my
UNC partner.
And this is my sometime friend. Go ahead. Heavy friend and TC sometime friend.
Oh my God, but that is one, but man, he's one.
Yeah, man.
I see him when he was get bashed all week, boy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But the bashing on nobody. In the political arena, I am the guy. No. I am the guy that has sapped the real player's shoulder, you know, and sap the head when they're going back in the room in the ring for war. I am the towel man or the water man, the water bottle man. I am a nobody in that arena. So
we have a known PNM caller all week. Yeah. Well, it wasn't on the head of the final.
That is good. That makes people get to know me. That's it.
On the morning program.
Yeah.
On the lunchtime program.
Yeah.
Top cat.
Wait just now. Let me ask you something. Google encourage that? If Pastor Google encourage that.
All the hosts. Every single
host encourage it.
Nah.
You need to understand.
If Pastor Google encourage that, me and Pastor Google will have it out.
Okay.
All the hosts encourage it. All the hosts
Google will hang up on it. Google will hang up on me. I know Google.
No,
you never do that.
It's PNM, you mad.
Hey.
Hang up on that caller? Not that caller.
Partner. Nah, not that caller.
Google will hang up on him. Google is my friend.
Like you want Google get sent home?
That is friendship over politics.
See, like you want Google get sent home?
From who?
Ask Kingsley. Kingsley, go ahead.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
You see, if I call a UNC program and they hang up on me, you know what go on? It's not a program. I'm caller. I promoting the party. I promoting it.
Okay.
How dare you as fire Britain coming down? Unknown.
Kingsley is that number one speed dial, when Kingsley pass and say, hey, you don't know you should cut me off, you know.
That caller is a frontline soldier, just like me. It's me and his battle.
All right.
First before the meet.
I hope.
Rowdy or Kamala, it's me and he meet.
Well, let me say this in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're a frontline soldier and you're still singing like a canary for your supper, your supper ain't made yet, then you're in problems. Right? If I was a frontline soldier for anybody, that means I had to take bullet first.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That means I put in myself in the line of death for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then my bread must be buttered on both sides, on the edges, and I must have some butter rest down on too. Right? So if all who want to play frontline soldiers
You see, I agree with you 100%.
Right. I'm just saying.
Because that what they called me. I tell them, and the guy said before he did, I pass you on the sword, you small Monica. You know what I mean? The king's even money. Yes, I want money. I need money to live. You know what I mean? Because I'm fighting in the battlefield. Sometimes I'm bleeding and I'm nothing. I'm still fighting. So I need it now. So, but you see, let me get to the topic very fast.
Yeah,
Show me the peacock. Yeah, this is politics. When they come into the arena, they cannot be afraid to take blows. They take blows. Yeah. And what happened there the last 3 days is a disaster. It is not good for our country. Why is the world see how the government treats the elderly people out there? But TC and heavy is, I believe, it is a plot to keep the people in the basement for the next 4 months. Lock them down.
Again, boy?
Fight for them. Tax them, yes. Because the country don't have vaccine. It is a shortage of vaccine in the country.
Kingsley, how I could allow you to say the country don't have vaccine? Which part you working to know that the country don't have vaccine?
Yeah, they say don't have enough or something like that. You can't say they don't have none.
Yeah,
okay.
We have vaccine.
Listen, man. You see?
Yes.
Yeah, man?
Yes, sir.
When they come and tell you 100 people one day get vaccine.
Right.
The next day they come and say
50.
25 people, 20. Right?
Yeah.
The vaccine going down.
That could be for crowd control. I don't know.
Because no. TC, don't play with that game. Don't play with that game. The country is limited on vaccine.
All right.
Because you tell the elderly come out, it didn't give a figure. But then they were saying, okay, well, 100 people who study with a surname with A or B or something are 50. But no, instead the elderly come out. It didn't give a number. If it's 100 elderly, 10 elderly, it said come out. Right? They first come with them, with the elderly, first come, first serve. Right? So thousands of elderly will not be pushed. They get buff. They in the sun. No, and it's me. It's the matrix. I will say it again, TC, this is my point of view. I believe this country is shortage of vaccine. They do not have the vaccine they say they have to give the population. Because heavy and TC, the people are seeing the world is opening back up. This morning I tell a talk show host, there's 7,000 people at a ground right now in England playing New Zealand. But I'm now finished watching it. 7,000 people without masks. Some have a mask in Lords in England. Some of the people are seeing. Yes, the people are seeing that Bungie all day. IWER all day. That way IWER and Black Sam having a set coming down soon here in America day, right? The scene from Nabi having Black Lab Jam. The people are seeing that the world opening back up. So people want it because they put us in our head that we must be vaccinated for the world to work. So people say, okay, I'm willing to take the risk. Am I dead? Oh gosh, boy, I want to get back to my life. I want to go back to school. I want to get back to my job. People are fed up. The people are fed up. You see, that is why you're gonna crowd them 2 days. People say, okay, I raise up my hand, I go and take it.
Yeah,
but it's
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah. But the process would be just smooth.
No. There was nobody who wasn't going to come for it because there was spread.
Yeah, because that was the word on the ground that people afraid to vaccinate. Yeah.
No. That UNC telling people look for the vaccine.
Well, I don't know about that.
Would like to give vaccine.
Kingsley, don't know about that.
Kingsley, UNC cannot tell people do not go and vaccinate.
But no, some people tell people do it because it's a world order. They're paying chicken here, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the vaccine, but the right vaccine. I am waiting for the right vaccine.
What is the right vaccine? What is the right vaccine? Again, we don't want you to be selling dreams on the radio. We don't want you to be irresponsible. You are a public figure. Right you is Kingsley. And if you start to talk about right vaccine, Kingsley,
then it be irresponsible because
Then, wait, Kingsley, let me explain something to you. Then, you would start to go into people's brain, making them believe that there is a wrong vaccine. The branding of a vaccine, right? It's like Panadol and Tylenol. They both do the same thing.
I'm
paracetamol.
That is me.
So you're waiting on your choice of vaccine, on your choice. But then if you reach up in the line, Kingsley, and they say, well, all right.
You are not a Johnson & Johnson.
We don't have Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, Pfizer.
Yeah, so you're going to turn back.
No.
And head to somewhere, go and inquire. To decide you can make a phone call. You can make a phone call.
I am doing the research on Johnson & Johnson alone. I am not doing this. Yes, I'm also doing the research on all. Right, but I'm doing the research on because I am not taking no vaccine from China. China have 4 vaccines.
Okay.
We them make them.
All right,
China makes
Kingsley.
4 vaccines. Right?
Kingsley, we have been on the radio too long, boy. Kingsley,
thank you very much.
You can call me back.
Yeah, Kingsley, you can't do it.
Yeah, we have too much.
You wouldn't know which vaccine is which vaccine until they reach the
we have a month too long.
Nobody going to pop a sign outside and say we have the Johnson & Johnson here, or come, or we have the Pfizer here, come.
But it was like that in America. You can choose which one.
Yeah, but
not here.
Not in Trinidad.
Yeah, we right now we need more vaccine.
Yeah.
Caller?
Hello, good afternoon again.
Yes, good afternoon, Kunji.
I was watching a program a month ago, and the program was showing which part our Honorable Prime Minister went somewhere in Africa amongst his brothers and sisters. Everybody was bareback, and it was like a walkthrough. Where he had was a walkthrough, and then he went up and made the leader. And I feel like everybody afraid to speak about this. But a boat leave from Africa. With 14 dead bodies and a skull, and pass all borders all over the world, pass every borders, and end up in the shores of Tobago. That boat still over there. Where the medical health? Where the health authorities? Supposed to see about that?
I don't think that boat came from Africa. Is that Venezuela that boat came from?
No. It was reported for weeks on the news that boat come from Africa.
You sure? I go back and read the article.
Up to now, Kingsley.
Kunji,
up to now,
I will not bring them things false on the radio.
Okay.
From Africa and come through all borders. You see why we have a spikes? Because if a boat with 14 dead people and a skeleton could pass everything and end up in Tobago, and that boat stayed there for over 2 weeks, still that boat still there. Is that fair to the people of Tobago? ETC?
Well, I don't want Kunji. I don't
know where you're coming from, because we really wasn't talking about that.
And it's not that alone.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I am
that
not sure.
Issue.
First and foremost, Kunji, I am not sure. I cannot guarantee if the boat really came from Africa. If the news said so or the media said so, I cannot guarantee that. Right? First. Secondly, I doubt that 14 dead people left from Africa dead and reached Trinidad. Right?
That is what reported in
but what I'm saying is, think about it. If a pirogue leaves Africa with 14, it is very unlikely that they left with 14 bodies from, and no newscast can tell you that they left dead.
Yeah. They say 14 dead people leave Africa.
14 dead people, you said. 14 dead people, you said.
And a skull leave Africa.
Left Africa with a skull.
With a skull and reach Trinidad.
That sounds far-fetched.
Africa.
All right, the boat is from Africa.
Oh.
Right, but I am all over the place on that, so I cannot make any decisions on.
Anyway, I want Oli to do something for me.
And what does that have to do with the Prime Minister going Africa as well? I don't know where you're going with that. I really don't know where you're going with that. I don't know where you're going with that. I am not
contribution in a package.
Yeah, but what does it have to do with him going and he walk up between some bareback people? I don't understand it, Kunji. I don't understand it.
I put my contribution in a bracket so you could take it however you want to take it.
Okay.
However you want to take it, you go. If you don't want to open that package, leave that package alone. But I want Oli to do something for me too. I want Ola to explain to me and to the 180,000 people that listening to the Street 919, who is Shaka Zulu and what work Shaka Zulu do in the 18th century?
Kunji, this is
Kunji,
not a history program.
A different road, man. I don't know.
I'm not going there.
Yeah. You're trying to change the topic and change the show, man. Don't do with that.
Hi, good day.
Yeah, good day, TC and Heavy.
Yeah, don't do with that, Kunji.
The boat did left from Mauritania.
All right.
Northwest Africa.
All right.
But
right.
But we're not sure the people that left was dead. People left on the boat.
No. They probably were migrants leaving to go to Europe.
Probably now.
Right. I had to say probably. Leaving to go to Europe and
drift.
Right. Whether engine thing or bad weather, and it drift across the Atlantic. So when Kunji talking about cross borders, they ain't cross no borders. The closest island to Africa is Barbados, then Tobago, then Trinidad, because I know geography very well. Okay? So tell them I don't like. I agree with them.
I don't think we should even talk about that with Kunji, because Kunji came sideways.
Okay, forget him.
Yeah. We talk about what we was talking about all the time.
But I'm saying you see when people talk ignorant things. Remember, children might be listening.
Yeah, and I like how you came and
you got to be correct, my brethren. It floats across the Atlantic. If you go, you do geography. The closest island to Africa in the Atlantic is Barbados, then Tobago, then Trinidad. All right, that's all I really call.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much.
And callers, we refrain from calling to talk about what Kunji said, because that makes no sense to me. We wasn't even talking about that.
It did make no sense.
I don't know where we going.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Everybody called super importer stain and the panty.
Oh Lord. Hello, good afternoon.
We do that today.
Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, man. What's up, my brother?
Good afternoon.
Man, what's up?
I did. Well, the last caller said it's so true, because from Barbados it's only 3 hours 30 minutes away on sea to Africa. So the last caller put on a piece of history there that a lot of people need to understand too, that they tell us Africa is so much thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away. It's only 3.5 hours away by sea from Barbados. So the last caller was on point.
Yeah.
And I just would like to say, Heavy, you know me, I like my tune to educate the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
A tune 1973, which is
Just with love.
Yes, that tune.
By my show is my show.
Make them my show.
Yeah.
To make them understand what especially you just be talking about, because people may judge you, but they don't understand the history of Trinidad and Tobago to see how far this oppression and the behavior of government came from. So sometimes it's good to touch that song just so they could listen to the words and the lyrics in that song and see if they are not facing the same type of pressure today from since 1973, when some of you weren't even born yet. The same type of pressure today under the way how the government run the country, how they deal with people. And for all these years we have been trying.
Brooklyn, you know what I said? I was in a social media chat on WhatsApp group chat, and I had a heated discussion talking about Trinidadians, right? And we were talking about whether Trinidadians stand up for anything. And I told them, if apartheid, what that happened in South Africa, had happened in Trinidad and Tobago, would have still been apartheid up to this day. And if a man like Mandela had come up and talk about changing, they would have killed him. If he had segregation and had Martin Luther King and Malcolm X fighting for the rights of black people to stop segregation, it would have still have segregation here up to this day. If George Floyd, police had kneel down on his neck and kill him, the Black Lives Matter movement would have never even existed if that was Trinidad and Tobago. We stand up for nothing here. We just take, and don't say anything, Brooklyn.
But Heavy, I will tell you something. You see, as I tell people that say UNC and this and that, is my candle dagger who, you know, how he just go to the church and be christened for christening. I had a name there under African. And McCandle Dagger is the man who offered me up in my name and name. You understand? My father was strictly NJAC, right on the grounds of success, Laventil. From 3 months old, I come from the ground and was lifted up. So when I say I talk about Laventil and things, is I know what we need to make the change. That's why sometimes when you see you hear certain things, I just still defend my people.
Let me ask you a question, Brooklyn. Seeing that you have so much history with NJAC and McCandle Dagger. When McCandle Dagger had the Black Power movement in Trinidad and Tobago, who was the government in power?
It was the PNM.
And who all the protests and all the police went for McCandle Dagger under the same Black Power movement to fight for the rights of black people to get in banks, work in banks and get certain privileges and things that we didn't have here? Who was the government?
The PNM.
Okay, so why people make it sound like this is wow. Go ahead, Brooklyn.
The PNM tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the African people, right? The PNM government tell them, if all you vote for NJAC, all you have to wear dashiki and sandals for the rest of your life, all in school. They could never wear clothes again. Right? So people don't know. But I gotta tell you something. People just think is UNC and I hate the PNM. It's not a matter of hate. It's for how much more. We fight it for our children's sake. We fight it for young family's sake in Trinidad and Tobago to have a better future. We're not fighting for no party and politics, We're fighting for a change in our country.
Correct, is right.
The fight that our parents didn't fight for.
And because we speak out against the atrocities they brand as UNC. Because they cannot fathom in their brain that we as black people, right, don't support their political party. In the interest of Trinidad and Tobago. No.
MP, I gotta tell you something. You see, all of them who talking, they never, since there was the age of 3 and could hold a bottle of salt water on a hill. They never did none of the things that we go through.
Okay.
Like if we were slaves as children, they never know. So they could judge you now because they see you driving a nice car and you might be living somewhere nice now. They could judge you, but they don't know where you come from. And they don't know why you speak like they don't know why you're speaking the way you speak, because we know change could come. We know Laventil move over the Express Corridor could have been a better
place. Yep.
But when UNC deal with their areas and fix their areas, they say they teach everything. But why for over 50 years the PNM make a change? People still toting water and move and Laventil by everybody. People still have houses with no lights and current by. You understand? And who standing up for these people?
Who? Because every person that stand up for them, they chastise them, they shoot them down, they try to persecute them.
Well,
and even the people they try, let me tell you something, Brooklyn, even the people that you stand up for, cussing you and chastising you and persecuting you, they're the ones who toting water, they're the ones who oppress, they're the ones who try not go to school and die. Anyway, Brooklyn, we run out of time, we gotta go, right? We're going to talk some other time.
Touch this song if you have time.
Yeah, I will touch this if I have time. Okay, cool.
Yep, very cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of callers, Avi, so we'll have to take the calls really, really fast, right? And certainly lines. Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, TCAB.
Yes, my brother.
My take is on the vaccination of CPET workers this month. Some say they were to reach at 7, and yet some other workers say they were to reach at 8. After hearing, I could call this to the Honorable Deborah Felix of the Industrial Court. We had them pearls this morning still telling, I went to the beat them from what I heard. Telling workers, it come from CPEP, they say. I spoke to a contractor, whether it's male or female, and they said, CPEP call and instruct the contractors to have the workers go out and take vaccine. And in some cases, some of them mightn't be able to work. They tell them, but you obviously have to work with ID.
Wow.
And in some cases, some of them mightn't be able to work. You see, it's more peer pressure because things are not. The home, they cut their pay, but they cannot learn things still. And to know that the laws are a little thing. Some people went to take the vaccine just because to keep
They need to get a hustle on. They need to get a
They have
hustle
a board, you know. Mr. Eddie and others in CPEP. And to rolling bunch. When you see gold already fall, you're going to feel like the heaven coming, everything coming on and all, you know. Especially when people ready fall. You know.
But Anderson, is that right though? Anderson, is that right though?
That can never be right.
So don't you have a right to say, well, I don't want to take it?
But not all workers will be the same, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't think you have to be have any qualification against the type of.
Okay. So because of that, if I am working CPEP, I'm asking the question here, if I am working CPEP and my contractor, the guy who I'm working for, tell me I have to get the job, otherwise I won't be able to come back out to work.
And I think contractor said that, but I said I get a report.
Okay.
But the contractor told me, wow, CPEP put it over to them.
Oh.
And demanding they get the workers to go out.
Okay.
And the contractor tell me, I'm not doing nothing. I tell them, who want to go, could go. And they said, I am only going. They say, who want to go, they tell the workers who want to go, but they have contractors out. Because it's sure, there are something thousand workers. And how much contractors?
Wow.
That was the last estimate of the CPEP workers. I know the trickle down. They were not to charge and something, 1,000 workers. And the Savannah were well open to them. So we had 300 and something thousand workers heading to Queen's Park, Savannah. And let me say 75% rent. How much thousands of people like that we had there going to there this morning?
Yeah, but I think those figures you are saying, Anderson, is kind of I feel it overwhelming because you cannot really have 300,000 people go to the Queen's Park. So even if it's 75%, even if it's 100,000, a lot of people don't know.
Even if it's 50.
You understand? So.
You see, some had gone up to the Queen's Park. Some go somewhere in South and they'll buy a different area for them.
Right, okay.
They want for CPEP workers to be vaccinated.
Oh, okay, I understand now.
All right, Anderson. We have to take some more calls.
Anybody can help me, eh? We had this man giving any press conference today?
Yeah, we have a press conference at 2 p.m.
I only hope anybody close to where we listening. Then let them know Anderson will say, I hope that the one from the beat, man. You're the one who just said there the other day. Yeah, this one can't dead. This one not too much to see about. All over Lavantil.
Yes.
I'm going to make it quick.
Yeah.
I only hope you drink a comment this morning. Play with the sheep and them. Drink a Johnny Green or Johnny Blue. And come this evening, the jackass nothing to tell you people because you drink plenty cold milk. To tell the citizens of this country this evening that from midnight 5 to 5. Find people in chicken back end. Everybody just say no. So when you don't drink your cow milk, you come to the television, by your social media, and you say from 7 to 5. I only hope they come this evening after playing up with the sheep and them.
All right.
You're saying the same thing over.
We get by
Hello.
Good afternoon, Chelsea and every.
Yeah, man.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. I want to talking, tell you something about the Black Power.
Mm-hmm.
And within that Black Power movement, and not blame the Black Power and them, the people who organized the movement, it was a good movement. But you know what I noticed, because I went to meet them, and I went to meet them on Queen Street and by the square and President Street. And what I saw, because the pastor Lavantil come from all about, they coming from east, west, north, and south, was people. And what really, I from my own thinking and my own judgment, I'm telling you how I feel that day. I feel sad that day to see what takes place. Because like to me, I tell you how I think the thing was organized, but things get out of hand because people come with their own agenda to mash up, like to start something and do organized happiness. And that way, I stick in my heart today to see we could do like how you tell people don't come out and for the vaccine and how they're rushing. When the thing we see in tongue, I'm telling you, you know, they themselves say the boys and them son, them renting the square and the church and this great idiot. I didn't see that, I tell you what I hear. But for what I saw, the same man was selling the snow cone and he not some little fellas had to pet the thing and thing break my right door and that is the whole thing, upset the whole plan, but it's a very good plan and it's reach away the opportunity those were telling you, you know, what I see, you know, to me, I see that, and it's very, and what we own, the men will come from this piece and that piece, and without the plan of the people within the table, like, we have something we witness, this after this step to that step, and they didn't, well, I don't know who break loose, and from there, I rest my head and say, what a pity opportunity we had with Great Gandhi, and we wasted.
Can I ask you a question, caller?
Yes.
Okay, I like how you tell. I know he's elderly and I was there. I wasn't there, I think I didn't even born yet. Now, but what I want to explain to you, if I am my good friend here, TC, gather a people under a movement of moving forward, changing things, and we get the support of the people, and we hold a march or we hold something. Like we said, have no COVID or nothing like that, and we hold a march in the Queen's Park, Savannah, or down in Woodford Square, and thousands of people come out. With the people who don't want that to happen, will they not pay people to go there and mash it up?
I went out in that. I can't do that.
Oh,
so mash up the thing now. It hurt me because I know something good. I was young. Me and my money so born cold in Santa Cruz and bring it down in Movo and sell special close to penny. So with a good movement, I'm telling you that.
Right. But then you got to remember, when you make those kind of moves, you remember coming up against people who find you gaining too much power and too much influence. They will try to bring you down by any means necessary.
I say no, I won't do that because some people think them way and I think my way and it should be short. They should think that I'm because they don't want to upset.
All right, cool.
They don't want to lose.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Understand?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, brother, for that history. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless you.
Yeah, man, bless. Caller?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, caller.
You know, the only thing I just have a problem with, right? I hear what you say about the black power and that they might put people to infiltrate. And I heard earlier what you were saying, that's how it is so many people beating up on your partner. But you know, what I just don't understand why is always black people doing the same thing against black people? That is my biggest problem. Why we cannot ever unite as one, but we always taking some money to fight down. You hear what they was doing with society yesterday and day before and for the whole week past.
You ever heard something about Jim Crow law?
What's me? I want to know, or I know about those things, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter why it is we have to be like that.
Because it was programmed to hate one another. It's Jim Crow law. If you go up on YouTube and you type in Jim Crow law and you read it or you listen to the documentary, you're going to understand why black people fight down black people.
No, but I understand the law, but we all have access to that and we all know what they are doing, so why don't we get smart enough to fight to stop working, boy? When I have a bad program in my computer, I take it out and put in a better one.
Well, boy, it's 500 years of programming, eh? 500 years of programming.
The Jews had 800 years of programming, but it didn't break them.
Okay.
Why we can't fix ourselves? What is wrong with us? And that's what has caused me a problem, because I hear about this Macandal Daga, but I also hear while he was in the UNC, he is the same man and come out say that he never see no party having thieving like if it is they had the right to thief. So I want to know what it is we really doing.
Again,
you know what we vexed with he.
Again, I anytime this conversation comes up, caller, I just always say it starts with me and you.
I
you understand?
Agree with that, but I mean it had to end up being we, you know.
Yeah, well, and that,
me and you
yeah.
But
caller, let's face it. Are we united in Trinidad and Tobago?
No.
Even black people not even come together as black people.
Well, as black people always want to fight one another because you know why? I want to prove to you that I have a little more than you.
Yeah.
Correct is right.
Correct is right.
And what is wrong with that?
And that is
I noticed, I told people, I know, people say all about this thing about the 1%. Well, I don't know whether it's true or it's lie. But what I never see is 1% running down one another to shoot each other for all the drugs they accuse them of bringing them in the country. But I see black people doing it. What happened to us?
Caller, do me a favor. YouTube Jim Crow law and listen to that.
I know it. You ain't telling me nothing.
The programming start there, no?
Before that.
Well, before that, yes.
Jim Crow.
Yes.
Right? But what I want to know is that now we are aware of all of this. Why can't we break out of it? It is high time.
You think it's with all the years of education and we're already free for all these years and things, you think it's high time we come together and break out of that syndrome?
I try to understand why.
Yeah,
This is my problem because I have.
We have a problem lacking. We have a problem lacking good leadership too, eh?
No, but, all right, but why I have heard very little people, black announcers, come out and denounce the attack on Aisha, a black woman. Every time it is, we have been hearing so much a thing about a mission promotion about save the woman. We have a black man attack a black woman.
When I said Aisha been attacked, you mean physically?
Verbally.
Well, Aisha can defend herself verbally. No, Aisha is well capable of defending herself verbally.
No.
Aisha no normal lady. You know, Aisha very very versatile in defending herself.
Heavy.
In her defense.
Heavy.
Okay.
Heavy and the caller. I would speak. I'm speaking to both of you. Right. I understand what the caller is saying. Right. About defending Aisha and taking a stand and saying this is not right and stuff like that. I'm also understanding you, but Heavy, we are just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And this is we have just about 15 minutes and a lot of calls to take. So
I felt we need to defend one another.
Yeah, man.
Because nobody is doing it for we.
Yeah, for real.
All right, caller. Thank you very much. Thank you for your call.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah. Let's give my minute and a half.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say this Every right. They say our motto is together we aspire, together we achieve. Right. That is no way. That is something.
That's a farce.
Yes, our hopes.
It's an illusion.
Yeah, because listen to me. Two things in this country we had to remove before we unite. It's politics and religion is what dividing our people in this country.
The next thing we need to there's a hoax and illusion. Here every creed and race find an equal place. I laugh at that.
What's meant? You see the two races, you see the two voting banks, the African and the East Indian. You see two of them go together and hold the party accountable. You see now, that's why I do not believe, my point of view again, I do not believe in religion. Religion is because the Christian will bring the Bible, the Hindu will bring the Bible, the Muslim will bring the Bible and show you my God is real. Everybody will show you the God is real. I'll show you the facts, everything in the Bible. Look at the word here. Look at the scripture here. It's war. It's battle to say who is the God, and I'm not saying that. There's
Kingsley,
one God. Yeah.
There's one thing to be going to a church, going to a Hindu temple, going to a mosque, going to any form of religion that you decide to go. You are free to do that as you please. There's another thing to be a fanatic to that. Putting that as, how you put it, like before your children, right? One will ask you, would you carry your children to be sacrificed first? If you know this person here is going to kill your children, will you carry your children before them to be sacrificed? No, you won't. Yet still people went to Guyana and allowed Jim Jones to give the children the juice first. And then they take it after. And that is what they call fanaticism.
Every pause. Let me drive it home now. Right? I want to say it clear. The voice of the people is not the voice of God. Because you see, oh my gosh, when them to choose Jesus over evil, who the choose?
Okay.
Who the choose? I want to make it clear. Don't tell me that cannot be yes. The voice of the people is not the voice of God. It can't be because I say, God want this on the country. What happening here? God want the government to do people. This what happening here? No way.
Wrap up, Kingsley.
Okay, you see, so we have to remove the two major things: politics. My party in power, my opposition. I don't want to say nothing to hurt the opposition. I don't want to say nothing to hurt the party in power. And we have to remove that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Caller? So in just about 10 minutes, we have the media press conference with our Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Kijrawli, you're going to be live. You're going to have it right here live on 919 FM. Right? Hello, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, happy duty and TC and to your listeners. Aisha Wells here, how are you doing?
Aisha Wells, good afternoon to you. Aisha Wells, I am now hearing about some fiasco with you on something happened this week here with you. I don't even know.
Aisha, who is abusing?
Somebody abused you, somebody...
Who is abusing my good friend Aisha?
All your UNC people always abusing me heavy.
Who the UNC people?
All your UNC. All your UNC.
When you say all your, are you branding me UNC? Really, Aisha?
And she is laughing.
And you're laughing.
She's laughing.
Every duty I have to laugh. I have to laugh.
Aisha, are you being abused? We want to stand up for you, Aisha.
You don't need to stand up for Aisha. Aisha's pretty much capable of standing up for herself. A strong, black, independent woman from Lavantil.
Don't tell me if
you want to defend me, TC. You don't want to defend
me. You want to defend Aisha Wells?
Stand up for my friend.
I just find your message heavy. The song a little similar to the people in the UNC message. So I'm sorry if I label you a UNC, but all this song the same.
Aisha,
we have a very strong prime minister right now, not so?
Yes, we do.
Right, and there are still people standing up for our prime minister and nobody will find nothing wrong with that? Huh?
Well, I didn't stand up for him this time around. I allowed all these supporters to defend him. I defended the people of Lavantil and environment, so I don't understand.
You defended the people of Lavantil and environment again?
I'm just drawing a reference.
I have to defend them again, heavy.
You come back on the wagon?
Them again.
After you kick me out and you jump out yourself?
I never jump out.
Oh, cool. Aisha. Okay. No, I sung an abusive to Aisha.
I don't understand what is the
Aisha been through hills and valleys. She survived out of the whole gangster alleys. You tell me about. She from Lavanti. She come out from behind the bridge. Aisha not weak.
My reason for calling is quite simple. I call in to beg for my brother Barataria to be reinstated on the show. I like to hear Barataria's contribution. Barataria is one of the fighters in the vineyard to the depressed on the east-west corridor. Nurola, I'm speaking on behalf of my brother. Barataria is a father.
Well,
don't talk. He's a father. Barataria preaches tough love.
No.
Listen, Barataria preaches tough love. That is what people can't take with him.
Tough love.
He has a father-type figure. He has a father mentality. I meet him
Aisha Wells.
I never used to always agree.
Aisha Wells, call us back. We're going for the break. The break coming up on us.
Call your show that we're doing. Call your train more.
The break coming, Aisha, we calling you back.
Aisha, you see you?
Yes, I have to finish talk about Barataria. Me and he never used to always agree, but I understand him.
Aisha Wells, you cannot say that, and you know, but
I am saying that, and I'm standing in defense of my dear brother today. This show song in El Bias, this you know TC. I used to say TC.
Listen to me. Listen to me, Aisha. Call me back. We go for a break.
We're calling you back, Aisha.
All right.
I ain't taking this. I cannot believe Aisha.
Ladies! No wing fuck ya cool you, baby girl, so your heart. Only independent ladies, 100 behind this baby. For a very strange reason, baby you're so underrated. Strike it up, strike it up. Hey, girl, but there's no one other than you at all. There is no one could ever call you a friend because you're hotter than them. You are the best overall, you're better than them. One time. Uptown, don't stink anyway. We're ready to go back on the road and say hands to the air. Because we uptown, don't stink anyway. Hey. 1, 2, 3. Hey, say you wanna wine, say you wanna move with the crew, say you wanna drink everything that's fine. What's another wine? Hey, so if you move with the crew, no one drink, we go 2 by 2. Pass one sack for the well, I say you well get through. Where bet? Cause I wanna play the thing in this I say who can wait to go on a costume again? 1, 2, don't speak anyway. Big every day. Spend money play, it's a vibe. I say we day, so we up, down. And if you love so, how we say 1, 2, 3. So let me do this thing the right way. And we pick up the vibes in here.
Patrice again.
Lyrical, gal, still my heart like a criminal. Somebody make me up to
You roll up on me like you do have a gal.
Socialist and white. Socialist
like a criminal.
Hey, hey, no gal, I come here alone. I ain't breaking no code. Stop the board right now. Get where you feel like. I can make you feel nice. And we could jump all night. Oh, like your head nice. Run to the bottom.
So high. Take it on and go in the floor.
Let's see the wine, let's see it. Hey, God, run the shot. Bend your back and come for that. Give me that one. Give me that. Give me that. Give me. Hey, God, you look so much. Very fat and nice. Give me that one. Let the bell sing, help me sing. I go deep for wine like a criminal. No resistance. You kill up and wine like a criminal. Like a criminal. Like a criminal. Stick it up and criminal. No. Help me sing. If you wine on, you cannot tell nobody. This is between you and me. Keep the vibes that you're bringing. Bring it away.
Keep the bumper rocking on me.
Everybody give it up for Patrice Roberts, please.
Somebody make some noise.
Simpsons Memorial Limited, number 63 Eastern Main Road, Laventille. Internationally accredited funeral directors and embalmers. A full-service funeral home serving families of Trinidad and Tobago and internationally since 1945. At Simpsons Memorial Limited, we serve with dignity in assisting families in honoring the memory of their loved ones. Our services include professional funeral and pre-planning, burials and cremation, custom-built and imported caskets, coffins and cremation trays, cemetery management, limousines, mourners cars, grief counseling, web streaming of funerals, fully air-conditioned chapel with live musical accompaniment, full global shipping and receiving of loved ones. We specialize in facial restorations. Call us anytime, day or night, at 623-8688. That number again is 623-8688. Simpsons Memorial Limited. Superior service, always with excellence.
Take me to the king. I don't have much to bring. More to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you. So real, get that perfect smile. Beauty's in every eye. To take care of your body, we have all you need to stay healthy. Yeah, more to love, yes it's true. Pennywise, just for you.
Pennywise gives you more to love.
Hey, you keeping safe? I hope so. I don't really know what will happen when everything will back up, but the lime had to go on. But in the meantime, just come online with the live wire. I'm on the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. Or you could check us out on the live on Facebook at the Street 919 FM or on YouTube at Street TV. Don't forget to share the live. That might just be as important as you keeping safe. So mask up, sanitize, tune in to the Street 919 FM, Lime on the Live Wire, Saturday afternoons, 5 to 8 p.m. Don't worry, I gonna be home in time for the curfew. Keep safe.
If you could top up your car when you want, give me $5 in super. Your phone when you want. Hello? You'll call me back, my credit done in. Why you can't top up your TV when you want? Well, now you can with Direct TV Prepaid. Top up when you want and get the best in entertainment with a 15 or 30-day TV top-up. Don't hurt your head. Get all your favorite TV shows, movies, and more without having to bang your belly. Now you're really looking good with Direct TV Prepaid. Well, what you waiting on? Purchase your kit, install, and activate with WhatsApp or SMS at 3903288.
The Gospel of the Kingdom radio program with Gilbert James is now on the Street 919 FM every second, third, and fourth Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. and every first and third Sunday from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Monday. The Bible says, the Gospel of the Kingdom shall be preached in all the world as a witness to all nations, and then the end shall come. For more info, call 652-0924 or 298-4540. And join us every second, third, and fourth Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. and every first and third Sunday from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Monday for the Gospel of the Kingdom radio program with Gilbert James.
Hi there, I'm Lester Sublal, inviting you to join me on the first, second, and third Saturday, 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, and on the fourth and fifth Saturday from 8:30 p.m. for an extended version of Slow Gospel Music on Street 91.9 FM.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price of $1,300. To order your products from the Gap Man Limited, call 628-4531 for products that cater to all your health needs.
For more info, contact 476-7268.
Hi, what's up, TNT? This is Wayne Johnson out of Brooklyn, New York. I always wanted to do something back home, and we're going to be doing our gospel segment on Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM. Listen what I want you to do. Spread the word. Spread the word, TNT.
Salvation, full and free. Salvation is for everybody.
Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Aisha.
Yes, my dear brother.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me back.
I am so sorry for cutting you off just now.
That's okay. I know Heavy wanted let her come over for the
Heavy came out for you?
I wanted her to come up for the oh wow.
And the press conference the press conference is on, so I will give you 2 minutes quick time before we head over to the press conference.
Yeah.
Well, I just called to say Barataria is a brother who's been in the vineyard for the people of the East-West Corridor. People may not always agree with him. I didn't always agree with him, but he's a man that's practiced tough love. Mm-hmm. He's a real father. He does say it as it is.
So he does say it as it is?
As it is, yes.
Let me ask you one question. Let me ask, so he didn't sugarcoat it when he said on your program, because I wouldn't believe that Aisha Welsh would encourage Barata to come on in your program and call my dance?
It's you he was talking. So I never know it was you he was talking.
Aisha, you didn't know it? Aisha, so you don't know my name is TC?
No, he said something. Yeah, what he said? Something about that top cat man. I don't know who's that top cat man.
Aisha.
I did not know that was you.
Aisha, my view, how long we have been friends, Aisha? We have been
he
friends.
Didn't call you top cat?
Oh my God. So what TC stand for?
So yeah.
Well, I don't know. I always thought TC was a nickname for something else. I did not know it meant cupcake.
Oh.
If I had known that is UTC, I would not have encouraged you to call me his brothers from another mother.
All right, but you shouldn't encourage him to call nobody at all that dance.
But you know, on the program on Street 919 FM, our callers are very passionate.
Right.
Our callers are passionate about their views and opinions, and I like to give people the freedom of speech to express themselves.
I myself.
But I did not know it was you.
Okay.
And I just calling and begging for my brother to be able to talk to the people of the East West Corridor as he has always done.
I love to be honest. So here what I would do. I would give him this entire week to apologize. He could even call on your program where you can be sure that he did. He did apologize for calling TC a dunce. Right? So, and as soon as he does that, he's allowed to call my program. Right? Until then, he's not allowed to call. He can call Monday to Friday, but on Saturday he can rest his mouth. No, I'm just. But Aisha, we have been. You are my sister.
Yeah.
I love you unconditionally, and you know that. And I will not lie to you or bring any games to you. He's allowed to call you on Monday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Friday.
yeah, and say what I said there about TC. I do apologize. I don't need no I'm sorry. I do apologize.
Okay, so that he needs to apologize to Top Cat.
Yeah, well, however he wants to do it. He could apologize to Top Cat.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And as soon as he does that, I will take his contribution in full heart with no remorse. Because you can't call me intelligent one day.
Yeah.
And then on another day, because I'm in disagreement of you, you tell me I'm a dunce.
Well, I am wondering if by chance we can get TC to apologize for saying my show not balanced.
I did not say. Whoever told you that they are lying. I can categorically.
TC, listen, it's not used heavy. I make a mistake.
Heavy say if show not balanced.
Yes, he say Precious and I'm sure it's the most balanced show on the street.
The most balanced show on the street. One Precious show. Your show is not balanced, Aisha. Aisha, I am appalled at you. Aisha, one day your show is talking about the people of Lavantel need to do this and I need to do that, and when I call to defend that, you shut me down. And then 2 days after, you come from Lavantie. Nobody will disrespect my people at Lavantie. I defended it to the core. I come out from Lavantie. I come from Lavantie.
Wow. Yes, I believe that.
Aisha, that has been hypocritical, Aisha.
Aisha, I second you with that. You call at the wrong time, Heavy.
I call at the wrong time?
Yes.
It's a special time to call?
Well, a special time to call about certain topics.
Aisha, don't send me that loop.
You call my program on Monday and apologize to say my show.
I am not apologizing. Aisha, you realize I don't call your show anymore?
Why you don't call my show again?
Because I am not going to allow myself to be a part of that diatribe.
Are you saying that my show is fit? Yes,
that show that doesn't contribute nothing to the moving forward of people of Trinidad and Tobago. What? After Tabacanal tit for tat politics.
No, I will not have this.
Cause Kingsley, cause Kunji.
Stop this, Heavy. Stop one time. Heavy, not on my program.
Me and all.
Not on my program. Don't do Aisha that.
I ban myself from Aisha show. Too sure I ban myself from Aisha show and Google show.
I talk about unifying Africans on Wednesday.
Aisha, we have to go, darling. We have to go to the time.
We have to go to the press conference, Aisha.
All right. Love you, darling.
Bye.
Keep safe, all right?
Bye.
Bye. Heavy Duty and TC, we're making our way
out. Yes.
We are heading over to the press conference that is in effect right now with the Honorable Prime Minister, also the Minister of Health, and the others, the
other doctors and the CMO and all of them.
CMO and everybody.
Right, let's go. Until next week, we'll be back here same time, same place. Bye.
Began to take effect. The blue buzz that blue section that curves downwards a little bit away from the orange line, that's where we are. So we do see that there has been a continuing slowing, not rapid, but a continual slowing as time has gone forward with the various restrictions beginning to bear fruit. If we look at it in terms of the speed at which we were doubling, meaning accumulating as many cases as in a previous time frame, the last time we'd had a full doubling was around the 16th of May. We thought at the speeds we were going at, it may happen on the 7th of June, but we slowed enough for that not to happen. We thought again we may reach that next doubling landmark by the 14th. The 14th is the day after tomorrow. And at this rate, we will again not have reached that. So we're seeing that that braking force, that slowing, continues to manifest itself. And if you look at the number of active cases, the actual active cases being that green line, we see what the CMO pointed out, that it's sort of plateaued and now begun to hold steady, is now beginning to come down a bit, as opposed to the projected course, which was the dotted line that we were expecting to move along if we continue to accumulate active cases as we were doing at the end of April. The dotted line would be even more steep if we had actually used calculations from the month of May when we had that bigger surge. So we have seen where, again, the change in trajectory, slowing of the numbers of new cases and accumulation of active cases is manifesting itself day by day, week by week, and it is encouragement to continue doing what we're doing, because the numbers are still not small, but the numbers are decreasing. So we need to make sure that we continue doing what we're doing to continue that braking force and slowing of the epidemic at this point in time. And I'll turn you over to Dr. Richards for the detailed hospital figures.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hines. Good afternoon to the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Ministers of Health, Energy, and the Office of the Prime Minister. Good afternoon to my medical team, the members of the media, members of the viewing and listening population of Trinidad and Tobago. Once again, thank you very much for joining us at this afternoon's press conference. This afternoon, I would like to provide a brief update on the status of the hospitals within the parallel healthcare system. And at present, we have 16 activated centers in the parallel healthcare system to take care of confirmed COVID-positive patients. As Dr. Hines would have demonstrated in his earlier presentation, the rolling average continues to decrease slowly but steadily. And we report dailies, but of course we like to present the rolling average, which is somewhere in the vicinity of 329 as of today, because it gives us an idea of trends that we would have seen over a 7-day period. Of course, the average number of cases is a bit of a predictor for the need for hospital beds, given the number of confirmed cases that we have. This graph demonstrates the number of admissions and discharges against the number of daily new cases. And over the last week, we would have seen that there was a slight widening of that gap between the admissions and discharges. And I'll go in a bit more detail in the next slide to discuss this trend. Now, the net admissions per day that we have been looking at really represent the difference between persons who are admitted at a hospital and the persons who are discharged. And we use this figure to really look at the capacity of the system and to care for patients. Now, over the past few weeks, and I'll move on to the next slide, the number of persons being admitted has remained fairly constant. The average number of persons admitted per day at our hospitals has been between 66 and 72. However, last week we saw a decline in the number of persons on average that were being discharged, and that decreased from about 51, 56, and then down to 46. Now, this resulted in an increase in the overall net admissions of 26. And really what happened here is that there were more ill patients, because if a patient requires a longer or more critical care, they would spend more time in hospital. Of course, we have been indicating that the average length of stay for a COVID patient can be anywhere between 5 days and 21 days, somewhere in the vicinity of 12 days, depending on how ill they are. However, what I'd like to emphasize to the population is that despite that increase in the net number of admissions or net cases per day, the capacity of the parallel healthcare system, of course, has been increased significantly. So these patients are being managed with additional beds that we have, for example, at the St. James Medical Complex and at the field hospitals. This line graph demonstrates the total number of patients who are receiving care on a daily basis. So this is an actual number, not an occupancy number. And we can note that as of the 22nd of May on or around, the numbers have fairly plateaued, with a total number of patients within the parallel healthcare system somewhere in the vicinity of between 610 and 625. Again, we've seen a plateauing effect over the last week. This graph demonstrates the occupancy levels, and of course the occupancy levels really speaks to the capacity of the parallel healthcare system to manage patients. And again, we saw initially a decline, and now we are seeing a plateauing in terms of the occupancy. Now the occupancy levels again speak to the level of care that a patient requires. So if we have persons who are very ill and require a longer stay in hospital, they won't be discharged as quickly. Now, what we've noticed is that the occupancy levels overall in Trinidad and Tobago are in the vicinity of about 60%. That has remained constant. For Trinidad, it's slightly higher at 63%, but we are still well under the danger zone of 75%. This graph looks at the occupancy at the hospitals that take care of our most ill patients. And those are the hospitals that require the most resources, the most ventilators, nurses, doctors, and medication to take care of a patient. We've seen a slight increase in the total number of hospitals as opposed to last week that have crossed the 75% threshold limit, and that really is representative of the level of care for those patients. That is, over the last week, there were a lot more sick patients in the hospitals in our parallel healthcare system than the previous week, and they are spending a little bit of a longer time. As far as the step-down facilities are concerned, of all the step-down facilities, only one, which is the area hospital Point Fortin, was above the 75% threshold. So we are seeing patients being discharged and going home in a much shorter space of time from these step-down facilities. The ward level, which was the most critical sort of factor in terms of beds, was plateauing. It was decreased when we added additional beds, and now there has been a plateauing effect over the last week, which ties into all the other trends that we have been seeing. Now, this graph really speaks to the status of the accidents and emergencies, and we would all notice that there has been a general decrease in the number of confirmed COVID positive patients presenting to the accident and emergencies, which shows that there are less sick or less ill people in the community entering the A&Es. Also, it demonstrates that persons are being transferred into the hospitals and step-downs into the parallel healthcare system. And for the first time since the 24th of May or so, we are actually seeing some level of stabilization and plateauing. It is important to note that we are seeing a generally marked decline, especially out of the SWRHA, which is our largest RHA, and has been having less than 10 persons or so in the A&E at any one point in time that are confirmed COVID positive, awaiting transfer. The picture is, or this trend is also correlated with respect to the ambulance services, which are another supporting factor. The ambulance service levels have generally dropped under 40%, anywhere between 30 and 40% of transfers for COVID transports, whether between hospitals or whether from home to a hospital accident and emergency. And again, the average turnaround time on the ambulances has correspondingly decreased. We are now seeing a plateauing or flattening off in the vicinity of around 2 hours, just over 2 hours, to have a patient transferred and turned around at an accident and emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing some steadying, and there's a level of plateauing that's been noted within the parallel healthcare system over the last week. And this is a consistent trend that we have noticed over the last 2 weeks. Let us not be comforted too quickly or prematurely by this trend. Let us please continue to ensure the resilience and the protection of the parallel healthcare system as well as the traditional healthcare system by practicing the 3 W's. Let us continue to wash our hands, let us continue to wear our masks, and let us continue to watch our distance. We are confident at the Ministry of Health that if we continue to apply these COVID-19 prevention measures, we are confident and hopeful that we will be able to get these numbers down and win this battle against COVID-19. Thank you very much. Now on to Dr. Trotman.
Honorable Prime Minister, Ministers, CMO, colleagues, my fellow team members, healthcare members, inclusive of those that we often forget, our attendants who help us move around the hospital, our wards maids, our cleaners, our nurses, our doctors, and some others, support staff that help get all the tests done, lab tests, radiographers, and so on. Thank you for your assistance. And that's only to mention some of the healthcare team. The members of the listening and viewing public, members of the media. I have a big job today. It comes for me after you hearing all of what appears to be such good news. I am here to remind you of the fact that we still need to keep our guard up. And to remind you also about the way that the COVID-19 vaccines work. It's not immediate. When you get a jab in your hand, the vaccines do not work immediately. They're great. At the beginning of this fight, we didn't have them, and we're very happy to have them. But what it helps us do is for the body to recognize when it's presented with this enemy to fight. And to do that, it has to build up the antibodies. And that takes time. And it takes weeks, not days. And for the vaccines that we have, it comes after 2 doses. So while we're waiting, I am imploring another critical part of the healthcare team, the public. You are a part of this healthcare team. To remember that you have to continue with the foundation. You must continue with the foundation. The other thing I want to to just briefly mention is about some care at home. As you know, we have thousands of people who are well enough, even though they have COVID-19, to be at home. So some things, what can I do to help someone who's at home? Well, of course, remember that if they are home with you, you have to remember your isolation practices that we've talked about. That being said, you want to also emphasize the need for some basic things. Water is life. Hydrate. Drink lots of water. Put in reminders, as I do, to help say drink water. We're talking about drinking at least 2 to 3 liters of water, if possible, unless your medical condition dictate otherwise, because sometimes that can happen, to drink lots of water. The big word for us is hydrate, because what we're seeing is some of our patients are presenting to the hospital and they're dry. We call that dehydration, because they have not drunk a lot of water. And there are serious complications that come from that. That may not directly be COVID, but because of the fact that you just simply didn't drink water. Drink your water. The other big thing is the usual Panadol, what we call antipyretics, are available, basic. Use those. And as much as you have a fever, then you can use your basic antipyretics for that. Simple signs to look for. If a person has difficulty breathing, I can't catch my breath. You notice they can't complete a sentence when they talk. So in between they take a breath. That's a quick sign that something could be wrong. Normally they're up, they're awake, but they find it's easy for them to fall asleep. They can't keep up as much as possible. And often in the elderly, confusion. They're confused, or they're not eating as much. Those are signs that you need additional help. Reach out through the lines that we have, in the cases where relevant, to your CMOHs, or if necessary, to our ambulance service and other support service to get help for those patients. So there are things that we can all do. And most important is when you do get called for your vaccine, please go for it when you're called. And while we're doing all of that, remember the 3 W's. Wash your hands properly, wear your masks properly, watch your distance properly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Trotman and Dr. Parasram, Dr. Richards and Dr. Hines. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not begin to speak to you today without going back to last Saturday and last Wednesday. Last Saturday, I spoke to you here about how we were going to manage through June and July. And it was all based on our understanding, appreciation, and confirmation of availability of vaccines. Because we are in the situation now of attempting to vaccinate the population, and everybody knows that that is the best thing that we could do now with respect to trying to improve our circumstances. And we did outline and did in fact have a good weekend on Saturday, working with the private sector, and I think everybody was buoyed up by the fact that we did get something done well, and there were people being vaccinated, and we were preparing to come back out cautiously with our economic activities. But there was a problem with respect to reaching out to the larger, wider population. And that problem was the communication system between those who needed to be vaccinated and those who were in fact doing the vaccination. As head of the government, I take responsibility for how the government goes about its business. And this is part of the government's business, and I take responsibility for that, as I told you. And I want to tell the country again, notwithstanding any flare-ups or any advice coming from any quarter, I'm in this for the long haul. And I intend to see the country through to a place of safe landing on this. So I'm not going to be distracted by any intermittent failure, nor unreasonable expectation or responses. But Wednesday was a bad day. It was a bad day in that the government, through its agency, through its prime minister, its minister, its infrastructure, tried to do too much with too little. It was a bad idea to try to solve the problem of the registration program not reaching everyone who wanted to be registered by simply removing that stricture of a registration and replacing it with what one can call now a mass vaccination exercise. We are in no position to carry on mass vaccination, and therefore that experiment of trying to do too much with too little could only have failed, and it has failed, and we acknowledge that. And I, as Prime Minister, unreservedly apologize to those who sought to work within that program and did in fact experience what was the bad day of Wednesday. This has nothing to do with the technical staff. It has nothing to do with the ability of the technical staff to provide us with clinical and scientific information about the virus. This was solely at the level of the government as to how we try to do as much as we can, as quickly as we can. And of all the things that we tried to do, this one did not work. So, ladies and gentlemen, you've already had an apology from the minister responsible for the portfolio, and I have an apology, an unreserved apology from me, particularly to those elderly people who did in fact come out thinking that they could put themselves through the probably pain and certainly the inconvenience and disappointment of coming out and not being able to receive the vaccine. But I'll come back to our situation on that a little later on. But ladies and gentlemen, let us not throw the baby out with the bathwater. We have been doing reasonably well. In fact, we've been doing quite well. And we want to be able to go back to where we were doing well, like what we did on Saturday, and to come to a place where we can make the most of what is available to us in the most successful and effective way. The Ministry of Health, the Minister of Health, the government has had an opportunity to revisit the situation, and later on the Minister will tell you how we will ensure that that does not happen again, and that we, going forward, will be in control of a situation to ensure that whatever vaccines we have get to those in greatest need, and also in a way that utilizes our best infrastructure, human and physical. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to indicate to you that the vaccination program in Trinidad and Tobago is as good as, and probably better than, most, certainly in the CARICOM and worldwide. And for that basis, I want to bring you up to date on where we at as a member of CARICOM. I brought a table here to show you what our position is, and I would ask you to look at the third column, which says total vaccines received by country, and there are 14 CARICOM countries there and 5 CARICOM associates. Of the 14 CARICOM countries, the only country in CARICOM that has received into its borders more vaccines than Trinidad and Tobago is Guyana. And the reason for that is that Guyana took a decision which we did not take. I've raised that at this platform before, but I'll raise it again. The Guyana government took a decision that Trinidad and Tobago did not take, and that is, early in the proceedings, to use vaccines that were not approved by the World Health Organization. As a result of that, Guyana had a larger volume of vaccines available. We did not participate in that, and that explains it. So if one is looking at WHO-approved vaccines, it would be clear that Trinidad and Tobago got within its border more vaccines than any other CARICOM country. And that includes Jamaica, that has twice the population of Trinidad and Tobago. If you look, you see Trinidad and Tobago, this data is a couple days old. We got within our border 234,700 vaccines. Jamaica would have got 194,600, and Guyana 287,400. But an interesting thing is that you would have heard us saying that we got vaccines from some of our CARICOM colleagues. Reason being, these vaccines have a use-by date. They will expire by a particular time. We got vaccines from Grenada and St. Vincent. If you look at St. Vincent, with a population of 101,000, would have got 87,000 vaccines with a utilization of only 20,000. So by the end of this month, next few days, if those other vaccines were not utilized, they would have had to be dumped. And it's against that background, working with our CARICOM colleagues on a day-by-day basis, we were able to extract from them what would certainly have been underutilized and wasted and forms part of Trinidad and Tobago's vaccination units. And the same thing with Grenada. You would see Grenada got 136,000. They've only used 27,000. and therefore we could have got some of those before they became wasted. And of course, if you see Barbados, which has a fairly high level of vaccination, 100,000 of those units in Barbados were units which Barbados received and accepted before they were WHO approved. So outside of that, if you remove that from the scene, you would see that Barbados would be in league with the rest of the CARICOM. And of course, Dominica was the same situation. If you look down below at the associated territories, Anguilla is the best vaccinated island in the Caribbean. But Anguilla is a British colony with only 15,000 people, and they got 20,000 vaccines. Bermuda, population of 62,000, they got 89,000 vaccines. British Virgin Islands, 30,000, they got 38,000. And Cayman Islands with 61,000, they got 88,000. And you'll see that Cayman Islands and Bermuda would have vaccinated over 100% of their population. You might ask, how is that possible? It is because these territories have a lot of people present there who are not listed as part of their standing population. They are like either visitors or long-term visitors, but they had to be vaccinated. And they got their vaccines from the British government, which is like the United States and a couple other countries where vaccine availability is not the problem. So these small CARICOM populations in these small islands, they were participating in a situation where they never had a vaccine availability problem. But Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and others, we still have a vaccine availability problem. And that is why when we identified what vaccines we had in hand, it wasn't a good idea to go to a situation of saying, okay, since the system of registering is slow for some people and is not working the way they would like it to work, let us remove that and then have a first come, first serve arrangement. It was a genuine attempt that first come, unimpeded, would have got those people vaccinated. But of course, the demonstration of a tremendous requirement as contrasted with vaccine hesitancy came upon us on that idea and made the idea completely unworkable and unusable, and of course it is not to be repeated. And the reason why it wouldn't be repeated unless something drastically happened is that even though I told you last week, because last week Saturday I think it was, when I told you that we had made significant payments to lock ourselves into large volumes of vaccines, the African Trust arrangement, where we are paid in, we've made our initial payments and hooked ourselves into 800,000 vaccines of the Johnson & Johnson variety, which is one vaccine, one shot, one person. From revelations of what is going on with supply, I could tell you now that it is the view of the government that we are not at any time in the very near future going to receive a truckload of a boatload of vaccines so that we could go to mass vaccination. What is more than likely going to happen is that we're going to have a steady stream of quantities that we will have to manage. And that management would not be mass vaccination where you come to sites and be vaccinated in the way you thought might have gone, supposed to happen last Wednesday. It will be that we are going to focus, governed by the amount of vaccines we have in hand and available to us, and vaccines either on the water or in the air are available to us, that we will segment the population on an ongoing basis, and the minister will go into a bit more detail on that after, so that we do not invite you out for vaccines that we don't have, or we don't invite you out to crowd for vaccines that we don't have, and even if we have it, we shouldn't be inviting you out to come and be a crowd for vaccines. It has to be done better, where if we do have vaccines and you have to come out in larger numbers, that we do what others would have done, come out and get it. But because of the anxiety that exists in the population to be vaccinated, if we are coming out in large numbers, it has to be long lines because you have to be spaced out. We all can't be in front of the door. And it can't be in a small building and the building is full. And of course, if it makes more sense, we all shouldn't go there on the same day. So those are things that the ministry will review and reconstruct a platform to deal with intermittent arrivals of significant volumes, but not volumes that could generate mass vaccination. And I want to make that very clear to the country. And I want to, in so doing, acknowledge that Wednesday did not go well. But we are not going to throw in the towel because one day in a year and a half didn't go well. I'm confident that the future days will go very well. As I speak to you now, a shipment of vaccines are on their way to us and should get here by Monday afternoon. 200,000 Sinopharm vaccines should be within our control, and by Wednesday, those vials should be opened. So even that amount coming in on Monday does not allow us to go to a mass vaccination arrangement. It's just not enough. So we have to set priorities. And of course, we've done that, and the minister will talk to that in a little more detail. But it's not a one-dimension priority. The priority is saving lives and saving livelihoods. The cooperation with the private sector is largely working on the side of the saving the livelihoods. The call out to the general public who is anxious at home to get the vaccine for the individual safety is the saving lives side. So we are going to manage the inflow of the vaccines as we get them within those two ambits. The saving lives arrangement, dealing with people who are not having to come out specifically to go to work, and those people who need to be out to restart the economy, they have to be vaccinated as well. But we don't have enough vaccines to cover with a blanket everybody. So we have to make the best use of what we have so as to get, at the earliest opportunity, people coming out to work, and at the same time providing protection for the most vulnerable. And that is what we'll be doing as we go forward. I did mention that the acceptance of vaccines in some of our neighboring territories was such that we got some from people who were not going to be able to use them. We did get some from Grenada, from Bermuda. We did get some from St. Vincent, and from Grenada. We are getting another, or we've got them already? Yes, yes. We've got an additional 8,000 from Grenada, and we got an additional 5,500 from St. Vincent. These are items that will have gone, they would have gone to expiration if they are not utilized in the next few days. And we are very grateful for that, and that's an extra 13,000 vaccines. And the minister has factored that into what we'll be doing. So if we look at the month of June, you would see that the vaccination program is largely a program of the second dosing. And that is on the way, and the minister will give details on that going forward, and that will go into July. July, we expect to be affected by the incoming Monday. We still don't have a confirmation as to when in July the hope of another COVAX shipment will come. We hope that that becomes part of the conversation in the next week or two, a COVAX shipment. And of course, we are looking to August, and is now towards the end of August when we can begin to anticipate shipments from the African Trust that we've paid into. You would have heard a lot being said about vaccines being made available from the United States offer. A lot of that so far has been conversational. There has been no release of any of those vaccines to come to any of us. And what is worse, you would have seen confirmation of a withdrawal of 60 million doses from the Baltimore plant, same Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which initially was being thought of as candidates for the first allocations. As I speak to you now, I could confirm to you, I have been in conversations with a lot of people in this matter. The final approval for movement of the doses have not yet come. And for those of you who are following what is being said, the 500 million vaccines that are to be made available by the United States, which is being part of the news from the G7, it carries with it the phrasing of within the next 2 years. Understand that? We here in Trinidad and Tobago, we don't expect to sit here and wait for a year or two to get vaccines. We are doing the opposite. Where we can get vaccines to vaccinate us at the earliest, that's what we are doing, hoping that we be joined along the way by any other availability. And if by the time we vaccinated 600 or 800,000 people in this country, we would think that we have done extremely well. And it appears as though by the time we would have done that, we would not have got any significant inflows from those conversations, because when you look at the numbers and the number of arms that are waiting for the numbers that are offered, it is still an infinitesimally small amount. 500 million, yes, sounds like a good number, but how many people are out there waiting for vaccines? In Africa alone, that 500 million would be lost because of the number of millions of people who would be relying on that. We, in Trinidad and Tobago, if we get deliveries on the commitments that we have, August into September, we're still on track with that. But we need, and we will be, tightening up on our management of what we have in hand now, we'll be having in hand in the very near future. And in the event that we do not get additional vaccines, the most we can say to you is to hold in place, hold on, we're coming to you. And that is what really should have been said to those people who could not get onto the call-in registration program, rather than risk an attempt to say, come and I'll see if I can get you done. But let's be reasonable. It's not fatal. It's been an inconvenience. Some people call it disrespectful. I don't think so. Trying to help and failing is not disrespect. It is trying to do the best you can. We aim for the clouds. We got tangled in the treetops. We're a little bit above the ground, because we are staying on the job to make sure that whatever vaccines we are able to put our hands on, that those vaccines are utilized in the best possible way with the least inconvenience. I want you to pay that diagram I showed you a while ago. You would have noticed that Haiti is a member of CARICOM. Haiti is the most populous CARICOM country. Has 11 million people. They have not vaccinated one person there yet. I don't know how many times we have to tell Haiti we're sorry, but this is one of those times. And of course, we will continue to work very closely with our CARICOM colleagues, and to the extent that they are able to go further with what they have, we stand with them. And as I said, there's a commitment from us that in the event that the ones that we're working with, if they do find themselves in a situation where we have to reciprocate as quickly as we could with what we have, I've given that commitment to them that we will be standing there with them, because this is a community effort in CARICOM, and this is where we're all in it together. With respect to coming out from the coming out from the lockdown that we are in, I must admit that I was hoping that at this time we would have been a little further along the way down from the peaks of May. But we have to be realistic and we have to be careful. We have to be cautious. One of the worst things that could happen is to do it too early and discover that you've done it too early. The report we got today from Dr. Hines, Dr. Richards, and Dr. Parasram in particular tell us that we are going in the right direction, but not fast enough. But it's a good place to be as compared to where we were at the peak. Because if that peak had continued undisturbed, today we would have been reporting something quite horrendous and quite frightening. What we're reporting today is that we are making progress, but we need to make more progress before we take coming out actions and then discover that we've done it too early and reverse the gains that we've made in the last 3 weeks. So, fellow citizens, I'm calling on you again to stay the course. We, a few weeks ago, had Dr. Richards telling us that our hospitals were at peak and that was the most dangerous place to be. Thankfully, the report we got from her today is that we are below the most worrisome levels, and we are middling and plateauing below the panic stations. And we need to be grateful for that. That's the first and most important part of the responses we were looking for. And of course, with the information from Dr. Hines, you would have seen, yes, we go in June in a certain direction, but the numbers are still high. We need to be having lower numbers than that before we could confidently come out and say we can restart. I was hoping today to tell you that we would restart construction on Monday. I could do it, but it would be going against what we have learned and what we know, so I will not do it. I will ask you to hold on, and it appears from what we are doing and the trend that we are taking that we will require construction to remain idle for another possibly 2 weeks. And hopefully, when we come out at that time, we'll be on a much stronger foundation to not be easily exposed to a reversal of our circumstance. It means that the construction workers would be deprived of the opportunity of a pay packet for the next fortnight. And I will ask the Minister of Finance to see what assistance, if they are not already on the assistance program, what assistance we can give. And the program that we set about, the assistance program that was earmarked for May, would now apply to June. We just have to find the resources to provide that help to those who need it most.
We run the block.
Because without that,
well, I don't just banner.
Come out too soon.
Oh my Lord. Good afternoon, ladies.
Satisfy ourselves.
We all going.
We're going to take our vaccine.
Oh my Lord, can we come at all at two?
Find yourself.
Take me one time.
Let's go.
The problem that you are dealing with.
Take it.
If you see the woman, take it. She sit on her back and take it. She tell me she able, pretending needle. She start to smile, take it. Just for a while, take it. Let you know she able, pretending needle. If you see the nurse, she come for it first. Not to take this vaccine, it could be a curse. Of course, as a first responder, our priorities in order. What make us depend? Girl, we didn't want to wait. If you see the woman, take it. She sit on her back and take it. She tell me she able, pretending needle. She start to smile, take it. Just joke. I went back for a next joke. She take one stick, I come back cause she love it. She take one shot, I went back for a next shot. She take one stick, I come back cause she love it. But no woman friend, they can't make the grade. They say not me and that, this is a charade. But besides a little swelling and a little dizzy feeling, she had me a mess, thinking about her for this. If you see the woman take it, she sit down her back and take it. The woman she able, pretending it. Hey, she start to smile and take it. Just for a while she take it. Let you know she able, pretending it. I think I took it. She take one joke, I went back for a next joke. She take one stick, I come back cause she loves it. She take one shot, I went back for a next shot. She take one stick, I come back cause she loves it. If you see the woman take it, she sit down